Hopefully. Let me double check. Yeah, looks like we're here. Hi guys, we're here. We're live. We're playing some super fun, tragic D&D tonight. We have a fantastic guest DM tonight, so I'm just gonna run us all through. We're gonna go in like a big, like, clockwise, yes, clockwise, thing and say who we are and who we're gonna be playing. So, Don, you're the DM.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. I haven't gotten to play with almost anyone here before besides Lindy, but I've watched you guys all play, and I'm really excited to play with you guys. I think you're all great. Tonight we're going to be playing one-shot, Halloween one-shot D&D called Moonlight Metamorphosis. It's kind of taken from a campaign book I wrote called The Blood Plague. And if you dig this stream, you should check out that book. It has tons of awful things. I kind of creep myself out writing it, so there's some stuff that happens there, and we'll get into some of that tonight. But yeah, that's me. Thank you for having me, and also happy belated birthday to Lydia. Thank you for messaging me and asking me to do this. I'm sure that wine probably played a part in your guys' decision, but I'm really happy to be here regardless.
A little bit.
This may have been a culmination of wine drunk shenanigans.
Dorito tacos.
Oh, and the best Dorito. Serbian Dorito tacos.
Yeah.
And drunk texts. And this is why this is here. So, it happens. So yes, we're going to go next to Castle Mac Lydia.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Castle Mac Lydia. You can find me on the internet that way. I have wanted to play in a super grim, horrible plague game since I heard that that was a thing. So, and then Lindy and I had some wine, and we drunk texted Don up here next to me, and he made it happen for my birthday. So thanks.
Awesome. And we're gonna go down.
Oh wait, was I supposed to say something about my character?
Yeah, who are you playing? Just a little bit. I mean, you can. We could leave it a surprise.
I'm terrible at this. I'm just not a professional.
She's Gracie. She's a life elf cleric.
I'm a
life elf. Yes, a life cleric.
Let's as we go around, let's also talk about our characters and why they find themselves in the dungeon of Ostwald. You can, if you want, you can say whether they're innocent or guilty. I'll leave that up to you, but at least let's find out why they got arrested and why they've been put into basically just the worst place you can find yourself in this world.
I can do that. So Gracie trained to be a cleric out in a remote area, and her problem is that she will heal on any side of the fight. So she was found during the Civil War healing somebody on the other side of the battle that I guess she should have been. And so she was picked up and put into prison for, I guess, trying to keep the bad guys alive. So in her mind, she's totally innocent because she's just, you know, being a cleric, but the wrong guy thought so.
Happens. It happens.
I'm a nice girl.
I'm sure. Sure you are.
Just like in real life.
The nicest. So, we're gonna drop down from Lydia down to Chip.
Okay. I'm playing I'm playing Zankar, the cleric of Kasuth. And I know the cure to the blood plague, and that's why I'm in jail, because I was trying to cure the blood plague, and they decided that was killing people.
I mean, you're just gonna cleanse them with fire, right?
Yeah.
That's, how is that? I really don't understand why you're in jail, but it happens. We're gonna hop over from Zenkar to Deadeye Donald.
Oh, it helps if I unmute myself. Hi, deception check. Here on Tuesdays with our regular stream with these guys. Happy to be playing with Don tonight. This is gonna be great. I normally DM tonight, so I get the night off, and that's kind of fun. I'm playing Deadeye Donald. He is a bit of a circus performer. traveling performer. He throws knives. He's a knife thrower and is very good at it, and is more famous in his head than he is on the street. But I don't know. He's a decent guy. Ended up getting thrown into jail because he tumbled the wrong noble's wife into bed. He wasn't all that entertained with the idea. Not very forgiving either. And so he's trying to figure his way out of this now. It's dark and dingy in here, and they don't let him throw knives, so he's bored.
It happens. Just one tumble too many. Sometimes.
One tumble too many.
But
yeah.
We're gonna hop down to the good Officer Anderson.
Yeah, good Officer Anderson, that's me. Used to be a cop in this unjust world when the revolution happened, and before you know it, the people you think are your friends and your coworkers, they turn their backs on you, put you in with the wrong people, and sacrifice you for their greater good. So, just cop, career, life, family gets taken away from you, thrown in prison. That's who I'll be tonight.
Excellent.
That's who I'll be.
Was Anderson 2 weeks from retirement?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was 2 weeks and a day away from retirement.
That government pension
Was ready.
slipped right between your fingers. Tragic. I think that might be the most tragic story here now.
That's true. That pension.
Mm-hmm. Government pension's the way to go. I will be playing Lady Gwendolyn Dryden, human warlock. She, she was a noble woman. She had a great, multiple kids, a husband, lots of servants, nice estate. Her sister had perished to the blood plague, and it really freaked her out. So she went to bed one night, and in her dream, she dreamed she, made some kind of deal with the devil. And then when she woke up, she was standing covered in blood, holding a knife, with the entire household dead. She doesn't know what happened. It's really weird, but... you dream one deal to protect you from the blood plague, and then next thing you know, you wake up and your whole family's dead and people are throwing you in prison. I don't know what happens. I plead insanity. So, that's my case.
Well, I'm sure she's innocent. I'm sure it was all a big misunderstanding.
Sure. It was framed, really. Had to have been.
All right.
Must have tripped. That's how all the blood got on me. I don't know.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. With a slow, relentless rhythm, the rain falls down upon the tin roof of the clinic at Arkhambury Cathedral. Every mangy cot in the room is full of wretched men, women, and children. And the air is thick with the stench of herbs, ointments, and death. Many of the patients are weeping for loved ones lost, while others sit silently stunned, waiting for the inevitable. The least lucky are pulled, kicking and screaming and clawing from the room by doctors wearing beak-nosed masks. These poor souls have been deemed beyond help, unsavable victims of the blood plague. And yet there are worse places to be. On the other side of Arkhambury Forest lies the Dungeon of Ostwald, a terrible place to be sent if you've committed a crime. All of our victims tonight find themselves there, whether they're guilty of their crime or innocent, wrongly imprisoned. In the dungeon, you've all suffered manners of abuses that the not-so-noble knights of the 100 could inflict upon you. There's torture of the mind, the body, the heart, starvation, loneliness, being locked beneath the earth so that you never see the sun or the moon. Your time in the dungeon has driven you to the brink of what the mind is really capable of handling, and you've all decided that you've had enough. Tonight, you've managed to break out of your individual cells and gather in a small, cramped closet. You're going over your escape plan one last time. You're joined by Sir Diggory, a good-hearted knight who's become close friends with Officer Anderson. He plans to help you escape, and he's told you that if you can find your way past the dungeon's guards into the bowels of the dungeon, there are rumors of a secret passage that leads out of the dungeon into the edge of Arkhambury Forest. beyond Arkenberry Forest lies really the only beacon of hope left in this region, and that's Arkenberry Cathedral. It's sort of a rebellious place that's against Ostwald and provides as much help as help can be given to victims of the Blood Plague. So here you all are in a tiny, tiny room, and that's where we'll begin tonight's story.
All right, guys. We've been through a lot to get to this point. I am not going to have any of you mess this up, especially you. And he's going to look to Tripp's character. He's going to be like, we're going to get out of here. Can you hang in there till we get out of here? Can you hang in there?
I'm all in. Here, I have a snack. And he pulls out half a rat.
That's nice. Save your snack as a victory snack. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay, Diggory. My good friend Diggory here. You helped us get out. You're coming with us. We're going to make it all out together. But I need to know from you, how many people are left in this block of the wing? How many guards are left?
Diggory starts counting on his fingers. He goes to 10 and then starts over and loses it. And he says, well, there's the least amount right now, but it's impossible to tell, really. With the changing of the guards, the rotating of the schedule, a lot.
Yeah, confusing, I get it. We're going to have to get deeper in the dungeon. We've all been to the depths of this dungeon. We need to get deeper. That's the only way to get out of here. I have it on good word that there's a tunnel to get out. Now,
that's what I...
Have you seen it? Have you been to this tunnel?
Well, I've only heard of it. I don't really have the clearance to go that far down into the dungeon.
Who does? Is it going to be under lock and key? Who do we need to get it from? We need to plan here.
Well, Sir Winton goes down there frequently, and he has an officer, Officer Jameson. He's probably the only one here currently that might have a set of keys.
Winton, that schmuck. I remember him. He did a lot of things to me. I intend to return the favor. All right. And can he kind of like look out in the closet, like peer through the area and see if the coast is clear, kind of get ready to start moving further and down?
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
Okay. And not bad.
Right now, the coast looks clear. This section of the dungeon, barely outside of your individual cells, is a twisting and turning maze, and Diggory has provided you with chicken scratch, a map of sorts. It makes sense. It's not pretty, but he's marked the locations on the map where you might have to sneak past guards on duty. And at this point, as you're looking out and he's sort of showing the map to the others, he'll say, now, right now, these circles, and he circles 4 spots, are the points where they should be changing the guards shortly. I know these guards. They are not the most observant when they're tired. This is our best chance.
Now, I need some clarification from you then. Is there any chance that if we get noticed by these guys, you might be able to schmooze them over a bit? How well do these guys know you?
Well, they know me, but I'm not the most popular knight around. I didn't do very well in the academy. I'm not a very good swordsman. They all have...
We'll take care of you on this one.
How did you become a guard if you're not a very good swordsman and you didn't do it at the academy?
Well, my father's very wealthy, you see, and
yes, I understand. That explains everything then. Yes. With money buys everything. What?
You should have seen some of the guys I worked with, all right? No offense.
Oh, none taken.
Here is at least 5 steps above the average street cop I worked with, all right?
All
right. Well, here's
smile on his face.
Here's the plan. All right, I'm taking point Diggory, you're with me. You got the map. We'll go in front. You, and he points to Deadeye Donald. You're tail gunning for us, right? Anybody comes up behind us, you get them. You let us know. But quiet. Try and do it quietly.
All right.
Go in the middle. Be quiet. We're gonna have to move fast and aggressively, but we need to go quiet on our way out as best as we can, else it's gonna turn into a whole mess.
So aggressively quiet.
Aggressively quiet. That's right. All right. Is everybody good with that? Any questions?
Now, I've got a question. I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand here. Why can't we just have this good night here, like, transfer us to a different area? Why do we have to do all this skullduggery and whatnot? I mean,
Diggory?
why wouldn't that work?
Well, again, I'm not a very well-respected knight. As a matter of fact, I'm probably the least popular knight in the entire dungeon. And
right, so you get the shit jobs, like transferring soldiers and whatnot. I mean,
He gets the shit
mostly
jobs,
the
like
actual shit jobs.
oh,
Oh.
I've cleaned up after
Look,
Officer Anderson here.
This is below his station, all right? They're treating him like crap.
fair enough. Fair enough.
They're treating him worse than his job. He's getting out of here. He's coming with us.
All right.
This is a good cop, all right? I know many good cops. He's one of the few.
This is a snow burn escape.
A snow burn?
Slow burn, I believe.
Oh, slow burn.
Yes. You
Look,
can't just
hard
burst
to get
in.
my agents down here. They put me on the rack for a long time and tortured my ears. You know?
Dreadful. How dreadful.
You should see what kind of gauge.
I'd rather not, actually.
All right,
All
anyways,
right,
that's
guys.
beside the point. Are we ready to go?
Yes, let's
But,
go.
I mean, we've all said stuff. I'm afraid it looks like our friend Gracie here is having a bit of a problem. I mean, are you all right with this idea? You've been very quiet.
Oh, I think that your idea is fine. I wouldn't come up with another one on my own.
Oh, good. I just wanted to make sure. You've been very quiet, and well, Officer Anderson is
It'll be
quite
good for the sneaking. She's already
Right.
got it down
That's
pat.
true.
But
Very.
That's all I ask is just please be quiet. He's looking to
I'll
trick
do my best.
and you.
I don't want to get left behind.
All right. Well, let's move fast. Let's move quietly. Let's get going. And he's gonna open the door and check to make sure it's clear one more time. All right, let's go. And he's gonna move up front with Night Diggory. Start moving. Following the map.
Diggory joins you. He has the map out in front of him, and he's kind of holding it so that you can easily access it. Let's go around real quick, and I want to find out how everybody's approaching this. What are your jobs? So we have Officer Anderson leading the way, sneaking around quarters. We have Deadeye conferring with the map, and we have Deadeye in the back, watching their rear, taking out anybody if they sneak up on them or if they get caught. What about Gwendolyn? How is she going to go about this escape?
Well, Gwendolyn, she is going to, she doesn't want to get caught at all, so she's going to, use Mask of Many Faces and make her look like another guard. And look, that way she could pretend to be like an escort if need be.
All right. And what's Zankar doing? How's he approaching this escape attempt?
Burn anyone who sees us.
So is he staying in the back with Deadeye, ready to flame up if he needs to?
Indeed.
Fantastic.
I'll be right behind
and
Officer Anderson.
How about Gracie?
I'll be right behind Officer Anderson.
Buff, buff, buff.
That's how my husband talked.
How's Gracie approaching this escape attempt? How's she making herself useful? Is she making herself useful?
Probably not going to make herself useful yet until someone seems like they might need help, and then I can try to aid. Gracie, I think, is by far the youngest here, and probably just she's not ever escaped from a prison, and nor would she have any idea how to do that. So she's happy to get out, but doesn't really know what to do with herself.
All right.
Oh,
So-
I have a question.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have my arcane focus, so I wouldn't be able to cast any spells down here.
Unless it's like verbal or somatic, you can cast those still.
Roll me a religion check.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Not great.
There's a thought that crosses your mind. It's a weird whisper in the back of your head. And you think about the diary that you've stolen away and kept hidden all this time in the dungeon. You're not sure why it comes to your mind. It lingers there for a minute. And then they push out into the hall. At this point, I want to play a little game. I'm going to go around. I'm going to ask each of you to tell me a couple of things. First, I want you to tell me something dear to your character that they've lost recently. Maybe before they went to prison, maybe because they went to prison, maybe since they've been here.
My pension.
The worst. I also want you to tell me something that they still have. And these could be important relationships, family, friends in their lives. These things could be an item of some sort of sentimental or personal value. It could be something a little more esoteric, like their integrity or their will to live. But I want to go around and get one thing they've lost and one thing they still have. And let's start with Officer Anderson.
Officer Anderson's lost most everything: his job, his pension, probably his family. He probably is the classic holding on to the hope that maybe there's still something left of the family, but the big smoldering coal that he wants to floof up into a fire would be justice, taking justice back to the man who betrayed him, and that's pushing him on. That's what he wants, is vengeance. That's probably about it. He's lost a lot of close personal things that he really held true to him. He really, really loved what he did as a good cop. But yeah, things turned.
All right. What about Deadeye?
Man, Deadeye. When I was taken, I was rather surprised. It was surprising for all of us in that particular room. But I had my grandfather's knife. It was the first knife that I learned to throw with. It was special. It's my only connection with the family that I left behind when I started performing. I don't think I'll ever get that back. It wasn't a very nice knife. It wasn't my best knife by any means, but it was a good knife. And it was my grandfather's knife, and I always could hit the target with that particular knife. I don't think I'll ever see it again, and I'm disappointed. Things that I still have, things that, well, have my good looks, have my talent, and have quite a number of lady friends out on the other side of the jail. If I can get out of Oswald Dungeon, I should be quite a happy man. I just need to get out of here. I mean, it's in 10 days and I can already feel the loss of my talent. I need to leave. This is too much.
Has Donald only been here for 10 days?
10 days. Yeah, he's freaking out. He's completely freaking out.
Excellent. What about Gwendolyn?
Well, aside from her family and basically claim to that title, because she's under a lot of suspicion for that. Aside from that, I think the thing she's lost over like the past year of being in here is probably her sanity a little bit, which, you know, it's not good. It's not great. Could be worse, I guess. But things she still has, she's convinced she can't get the blood plague, because in her insanity, whatever, she's grown to believe that deal she made was real, and she's immune to the blood plague. She also knows where the secret family, like, emergency stash of cash was, and she's ready to go get that as soon as she's out of prison, and she's hoping she can start a new life somewhere else with her cash and a new identity.
All right. Let's move over to Zankar.
All right.
Zankar lost and gained.
he has lost his best friend Sparky, which is his pet continual flame. And he still has his mission, which is to burn everything.
Like you do.
Like you do.
So he still has his convictions. He still has his plan. All right, but he's lost Sparky. Was Sparky like a living flame? Did it speak to him? Was it like a sentient thing?
To him, yes, of course. I mean, it was K'Sooth incarnate.
Excellent. How about Gracie? What has Gracie lost, and what does she still have?
So the thing that Gracie lost, that was the thing that she was most proud of, is she had a device that she had made with some gnome druids, which was basically 2 rubber tubes that you could hold into your ears, and it was connected to like a hollow wooden piece that you could hold to a dying person's chest and listen for a heartbeat or some breath sounds, kind of like, you know, a modern day stethoscope.
Magic.
Resembling this a little bit.
All right. So this.
Oh, and the thing that I still have, I'm sorry, is a trinket that Gracie has always had, found long ago, was a diary that was written in a language that I don't understand, and I've just had it forever and just have always been trying to figure it out. And I was able to hide it away and still have it with me.
So does Gracie read or try to read? Does she go over this foreign language frequently and try to see if she can make out the patterns?
All the time. I think that there's probably notes in the spine where she's tried to like connect the letters or try to make various sounds, and she's just never been able to crack the code of it.
I'll say that recently, more and more, you feel like you're getting closer. You feel like the words are almost shifting, almost becoming something. And as that happens, your dreams have been plagued more and more by strange whispers of a foreign tongue, a weird alien tongue. And there's something about those dreams that excites Gracie, maybe, terrifies Gracie, maybe both. But it's become more and more frequent. And you have that experience again just for a moment before you begin the prison break. Now, this isn't a story about breaking out of prison. This is a story about what terrible things happened to all of you because you decided to break out of Ostwald's dungeon. But let's go ahead and see just how the escape plan goes. I'm going to have you guys make me some ability checks, and we'll start with Officer Anderson, who's at the front. He's trying to navigate, he's trying to sneak, and he's trying to keep an eye out for guards so they can avoid them moving forward. So I want you to make me a perception, a stealth, and let's call it a
Natural 20 perception and
That's
an 18
amazing.
stealth.
yeah, let's call it a survival check.
Justice will.
And an 18, sir. And Officer Anderson is
right
on a
guy.
roll.
Was the right leader.
We're getting at it today. What's it getting?
You find yourself able to follow the map very easily, even though it's almost indecipherable. The scrawl on it where he's written what rooms are isn't even legible, but you can follow the movements of it. And several times you see guards changing posts and you're able to hang around a corner. You're able to stay quiet, but we still have to see if everyone else is going to play along. At the rear of the group, Deadeye, I want you to make me a perception check and a stealth check.
11. Oh, and a 23 stealth.
Stealth.
I'm quiet but blind.
That's why you're called Deadeye.
10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes into this slow creep deeper and deeper into the dungeon, and no problems so far. You're able to stay quiet in the back, Deadeye, but it's a guard that almost turns a corner right into you. He doesn't see you before you see him. You're pressed up against the wall, but you didn't hear him coming, and he's just inches from you.
Okay. Okay, so he just stepped out, and is the rest of the group gone by? And it's just me right there with him?
You're in the back. I think Zankar is very close to you. Everyone else is just a little further down the hall. And he hasn't quite turned his head yet. You have an instant to act if you want to try to do something.
I'm going to regret this. But I'm going to quickly take my one and only shank that I have, and behind the guy's back, before he starts to turn, I'm going to just flick it as far as I can so it hits something the opposite direction of the hallway to try and make a sound on the far end so that he'll turn that way and move the opposite direction.
All right, I'll give you a choice.
Okay.
If you want to be particularly stealthy and sneaky, I'll let you try sleight of hand. If you want to just try to yank it back and throw it as far as you can, a little less cautiously, I'll let you try athletics.
Not athletics. I will try the sleight of hand then. And we'll see how I regret this.
18.
You stay calm. You can feel your heart beating in your chest a little harder in this instant, but you move quickly. He doesn't notice you, and you flick the shank. It clanks down the hall as it bounces off of one wall, then a floor, then something else. You can't be sure. And he immediately turns over his left shoulder away from you, looks down the hall, and begins creeping in that direction. And you have the choice now to act against him or to urge the group forward quietly.
I will urge the group forward quietly.
I think if we heard that, we'd definitely be watching. So we like frozen, watching, waiting. Like, now what?
Just think,
All right. Go. Yeah.
And closest to you is Zankar. Zankar, you see this happen. You see everything that I just described.
I've been in here for 50 years, you motherfucker!
So do you lash out at the guard?
Yes. Is there a torch on
Absolutely.
the wall?
Absolutely. There's many torches lining both sides of the wall.
Okay. I will burn him with sacred fire!
All right. You're using Sacred Flame. Is that the spell? All right.
Yeah, I just like throw a torch at him. Right?
And I'll give him disadvantage too because he's so distracted by the flicking of the shank. So you grab the torch, and how do you want to kill this poor, probably has a family at home guard?
Good. I'll find them too. And well, yeah, I mean, after he burns, I'll rip off his arm and eat it, and then let's go.
So Deadeye, you see him burn this guy around the corner. You see him start take some time to tear off a guy's arm when he has armor on. So there's some effort involved, but he's committed.
I'm going to... Zankar, we have to go. There's no time for a snack. Catch up with the group. What are you doing attacking? We're supposed to be quiet. I appreciate your energy. Look, stage-wise, that was beautiful. I would love to see it again. I'd give you at least a 9 out of 10. But please, going forward, quiet voices.
So did this officer scream out loud, or was he just kind of emoliated and just dies?
I mean, Zankar was screaming. The officer was screaming.
There was a lot of screaming.
You're in between guard posts now, so you're not hearing anybody coming immediately, but there's a good deal of screaming.
There's a lot of face palming going
Okay.
on.
What I want to do... I know he rips this guy's guy's arm off, I want to, like, get his other arm and, like, sling it over my shoulder because I'm disguised as a guard and make it look like I'm helping him out, like, just walking along with him.
Perfect. Yeah, you're able to do that, and we'll get to the consequences there in a second.
Okay.
I will
Can I
mention
pat it
that
down
there's-
quick to look and see if he has a dagger? So for the one I lost, while she's
he has a
taking it away.
he has a dagger and a long sword.
Okay, I'll take the dagger and like there's a longsword here as well. If Officer Anderson, can you use that?
No, what are you guys doing? Come on, let's get out of here.
All right, I'll grab it too and hold on to it.
Alright, yeah, and I'll just
All right.
grab the guard.
Move. We gotta move now.
Even though Gracie knows he's probably dead, like as I pass by, I'll quickly just like very quietly like spare the dying.
Nice.
Just in case.
Nothing to see.
Let's say, so I want to have a stealth check from Officer Anderson and Deadeye, and then Gwendolyn, give me a deception check
Okay.
and an Arcana check.
Ooh, 10 on deception, which I'm super proficient in, so that's great. And a 4 on my arcana, the 2 skills I'm proficient in. This is great.
I dropped the sword as I'm trying to put it through my belt.
now
I have
we're
a belt.
stealth.
No. Oh, we're dead.
Officer
Yep, we're dead.
Anderson got 17, so...
Officer Anderson, you feel like you're doing everything right. You've thought about this plan many times.
Keep going.
But
Sorry.
things are a little chaotic behind you. You look beside you, and you see Gwendolyn. You see her mask, her face like shimmering in and out. It's like twitching or contorting between her face and a guard's face. And there's 2 guards that turn the corner. They're about 10 feet away from you. And they look down the hall. They see all of you. They see Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, what do you do?
Well, I've got the other guard, like, draped around my shoulder. Like, just got, like, carried him along and would be like, I'll, like, if they look at me and look like they're gonna say something, I'll just wave, like, nothing to see here at all. This just had a little accident, taking him to medical.
Wait a second. What's wrong with your face?
Possibly the
Why is it
plague. I'm going
twitching?
to medical too. Bye.
Everyone's watching their expressions, and if there's any sign of that something's about to go down, like hey, wait a minute, they draw the swords coming. If they're about to get aggressive, he is gonna bum rush whoever's gonna get aggressive first. So
All right. So there's 2 of them. One of them, when she says it might be the plague, seems apprehensive for a second. The other one's not buying what she's selling and also has noticed all of you behind them.
okay, he's bum rushing that one.
I'm
like,
prepared to use this
straightforward.
dead guard's body as a shield.
All right.
Just whoom.
Officer Anderson, make me an athletics check as he reaches for his sword to see if you can hit him and knock him down before he draws.
Come on.
You.
Athletics. Officer
what-
Anderson.
What are you trying to do? Is you barrel into him and he falls back onto his back, his head slamming dazed against the back of the stone.
I'm just gonna take my fist and punch right into his throat to try and silence the windpipe.
Throat punch.
Yeah, I'm
All
gonna
right.
throat punch him.
So he's going to struggle against you. Let's call this one an opposed athletics check.
Okay, so another.
See if he can hold you off.
Oh. And I'm playing a monk class, so I'm still not used to it for what I can do for other things.
22
That's
versus an 8.
that's good enough. Yeah, you strike his windpipe and he wheezes. He's grasping his throat. He drops his sword on the ground.
Monks don't get like multi attacks, do they? With
You can
the
bonus
monk?
action, do an
Mhm.
offhand strike.
Can I bonus action offhand strike the other officer that I'm next to?
Absolutely. Are you trying again? Are you trying to just take him down, or are you just trying to punch him?
I'm trying to go for his throat. I'm trying to hit that soft tissue and knock
Silence!
him down. Yeah,
The double
silence.
throat punch.
Yeah, it's a double throat punch. So.
All right, so this is going to be another opposed athletics. He's going to be at disadvantage because he's caught off guard by all of this, and still kind of creeped out by whatever's happening with Gwendolyn.
Oh no.
No.
That's good enough.
Oh,
The
Lord.
3 loses.
Fine. Yeah.
And so very quickly, You deliver 2 throat punches, and these guards are disabled. You all have the choice now as they're on the ground trying to catch their breath, what to do with them, whether you move on and run.
Anderson's going to say to the group, move it. Let's go. Leave them. Like, he's going to be urging the group on. Like, let's go. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Eldritch Blast. I've never gotten to do that one before. This is
Right
my
now,
first
Gracie's
time playing a
probably like-
warlock.
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead and take 2 shots. And I'll say you have an advantage on both of these because they are basically disabled for the moment.
So, wow. That's the first one. Nah, don't think the 9's gonna hit. But I get 1 hit.
Yeah, your blast of magic, and I don't know if any of you have ever seen Gwendolyn do magic before,
No,
like she's been doing the last couple of minutes.
She tries to not do it at all. She's been saving it for this day.
You melt one of the guards' faces off. It burns away inside his chainmail coif. Officer Anderson's urging the rest of the group along. The other guard's scrambling, grabbing for his weapon, still holding.
And I'm gonna, like, dump the other guard I'm holding onto the other guard.
Absolutely.
Help the weight helps pin him down.
Gracie, what are you doing in the middle of this? You're kind of in between the 2 front end and the back end of the group.
She's a little torn about like who to help right now.
Yeah.
But in the interest of wanting to get out of this dungeon, she's gonna leave it, and she's gonna try to get ahead of. I don't want to be caught with her doing Eldritch Blast. I just want to try to get out.
All right, so you move forward with Officer Anderson, and then Zankar and Deadeye. You're at the rear of the group. Do you run past the remaining guard as he struggles? What do you do?
Put the torch in his face.
I was hoping you would say that.
Got a lot of angst, okay, from many years in the dungeon.
And I'm gonna say, with the body on top of him, his throat crushed. I'm just gonna. You don't have to. He's not gonna roll for this. You thrust the torch into his face, and again, you can watch his flesh start to melt away from the bone as you hold it there. He tries to scream, but is all he can get out because his windpipe is crushed.
Good job, Zenkar. Let's go.
What is wrong with you people?
We can't have them witnessing. They'll know exactly who's trying to escape. Let's go.
I'll run back. Do I see any daggers on those guys? I'm collecting daggers at this point.
Yeah, they're both armed with a dagger and a longsword.
All right, I leave the longsword I dropped and made all the noise with back where it was, and I grab the other 2 daggers.
Crossbow as well. Light crossbow, if anybody.
Oh, I'll take a light crossbow. I have proficiency.
I'll take one of the long swords.
Oh,
Can
I'm
we
here.
stay and watch a little longer?
Hurry up and grab stuff and let's go.
right,
Sandy,
all right,
knock
good.
it off.
All right. So you do all eventually move forward after committing several murders as a group.
Well,
And
you see,
progress-
I told me the reason I got
I was just
convicted
watching.
was because there was no witnesses to say I didn't murder my entire household. So I've, if there's no one to say who did murder them, I mean, that's just leave it at that.
It was all Zankar.
We'll argue semantics later. I murdered him. Let's go.
Okay.
Righteous murder.
Yes, the fire is very good. People pit in for you, not me.
So as we continue to progress deeper and deeper into the dungeon, there's several times more that you find yourselves having to make close calls with the guard posts as you follow this map. Officer Anderson and Deadeye, one more time, and Gracie, I want you to do this too. Roll me perception checks, and Officer Anderson, stealth check.
Looks like my luck's running out.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Gracie, you reach as a group the final circled point of the map where there might be problems, and no one else seems to notice, but you notice through the small window in a latched wooden door, number of guards, and you can hear them chattering 4, 5, 6. You have to get through to the other side.
I'll I'll stop everyone and say, "There's guards on the other side of this door. There sound like a lot of them."
Oh, good heavens.
Is there any way to get around this door? Is it like the one way through? Is what you're saying?
Well, let me check the map. And Diggory takes the map and he kind of looks at his scrawl to see if maybe there's another route. And he draws you a few lines onto the map that show a slightly longer route.
You better not be inventing those. Those better be real.
I'm at least 50% sure that.
At least 50. Better make it 75.
I'm 75% sure. I don't want to go through that door.
How long has it been? Has it been longer than an hour of us trying to escape?
You guys have been traveling for a while too,
Okay.
and your senses of time after being in the dungeon.
Gotcha. Well, then I'll reapply Mask of Many Faces then, because it only lasts for an hour.
Is there
This time I'll look like a guard officer. They won't question my authority next time.
Is there a heightened sense of alertness? Do we hear anything like scrambling on the other side, or?
Not on the other side, no. You, as you traveled through, heard people behind you. You heard them find the bodies off in the distance, and they're definitely hunting for you. But so far, you've been able to move quickly and quietly enough that they've not found you.
Were you going to say something, Zankar?
I want to say, I know a way through this, but it may be loud.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking, Zankar? Is it burning people? It's burning people, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is.
Zankar, we can't do that right now. The whole prison will be on us. We need to move. I say we go for this side tunnel, and you better be right, Diggory. That's what we're going to be in a world of hurt.
Is 50 to 75% right. Sure.
I guess that's a gamble I'm willing to take. Let's
50%
move
of the
it.
time, it'll be correct 100% of the time. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. And Anderson's gonna like shuffle everybody forward like one at a time. Like, okay, Gwendolyn,
Right.
Grace, Zankar. Then he's gonna turn back around and run back up to the front of the group and keep going. Just make sure that the backside's clear real quick, and then keep going.
Really wanted to kill the guards.
Next time, Zenko. Next time.
Do you kill everyone you come across?
Not us.
Only people I hate.
Knock it
And
off the back
everyone
then.
else.
Fair enough. All right.
You continue to progress through the dungeon, and Officer Anderson, I want you to make me one last survival check.
10.
You don't experience anyone else, not yet, as you progress through the dungeon. And
Oh no!
actually,
Oh, good.
find yourself.
You're back.
Oh, I'm back.
Good.
Yeah, you slow down. It got really intense there for a second.
You are able to follow Diggory's scrawl through the dungeon, and you travel for another hour, another 2 hours. It gets quieter and quieter over time as you get to places in the dungeon filled with cobwebs that haven't been visited in a long time. There's no cells full of prisoners here. And at last, you find your way to the rumored secret tunnel. And you reach it, and there are no torches through this tunnel. There's no well-paved brick walls. It's like a cave, a long, dark cave, much longer than you expected it to be. And you follow it for what seems like more hours, maybe a day.
Is there any feeling of anybody behind us, or is it kind of stopped?
No, the deeper you get into the dungeon, the quieter it gets. If they're looking for you, they're not looking for you down here. At least not that you're aware of.
Because only a fool would go deeper in the dungeon. Anyways.
So as you progress through this tunnel, you find yourselves alone, walking. It's dark. Do any of you have a light source
I
besides
do.
the torch?
Zenkar.
I do have several light sources. And if anybody wants one, I'll be happy to give it to them.
I think I'll feel right, Zenkar. Thank you for the offer, though.
I think that I think that Gracie will reach for that book, that diary that she has, and hold it, and then try to like channel through that and cast light on it. and see if it works.
Roll me another religion check. You are able to cast light using the book as a sort of focus, but when you do, you hear those alien whispers again in the back of your head. And as you stare in front of you, you see two of Officer Anderson. You see the one that you've been following, and you see another. And then you see yourself. You see yourself holding a large rock, a small boulder, moving up behind him, raising the boulder over your head and striking him in the back of the head with it.
I will immediately drop it and put the book away.
Your light fades as soon as you do.
I'll just kind of squirrely. I couldn't concentrate on it.
That's all right. I mean, we've all.
We do have a Zen car.
We're a little shaken right now.
You okay there, Gracie? You look like you've seen something, like a ghost. Please tell me there's not ghosts down here.
There's probably much worse. Let's keep going.
Oh, good heavens. What could be worse than a ghost?
I said this exactly. Zankar, got any light?
Of course.
He's gonna kind of stare at what he's handing him or whatever he's doing and be like, "Yeah, you keep it. You step up here, and I'll be right beside you. How about that? You hold it."
Okay.
That's a good man. All right.
I like having strong men near me.
I bet you do. I've been near you too long in this dungeon. Now let's keep going so I can get away from you.
I'll pat him on the butt.
His butt muscles will tighten in reaction, like, whoa. Oh.
Speaking of things that are worse, you continue down this tunnel again for a long time. It doesn't make sense how long you've been walking. Rats scurry across your feet, but it's otherwise quiet, bereft of smells, of sights. It's dark and wet, but then it begins, at first with a corpse.
Oh.
And then two corpses.
Oh.
And then more. And slowly the tunnel ahead of you becomes choked with these unmoving bodies, sprawled out, lying against the walls, lying on the ground.
How fresh are these corpses?
Make me a medicine check.
While she's doing
I
that,
want to see if I can tell how they died.
You can make me a medicine check too.
Thanks. Boom.
Natural
So
20.
So medical.
20.
So medical. Gwendolyn, you'll notice that they seem to be in various states of decay, but none of them seem fresh. Again, and this
Oh, that's a
reminds me
relief.
down of how dusty and cobwebby this area was when you came through it. It's been some time, but they are in various stages of decay, some of them entirely decayed and skeletal. Lydia, Gracie will know as soon as she sees the second of these bodies that there is one consistent thing about all of them. They all were victims of the blood plague. They have the telltale signs where there's skin, where their pores have opened up wider than they should be, and blood has seeped from their pores. You can see the blood stains on their face, on their neck, on their eyes, where they still have faces and eyes. It's enough for you to be sure that all of them died of the blood plague.
Do we know how the plague is transmitted?
You would know, Gracie would know that the plague is transmitted through touch, through air, through blood, and there are different ways to transmit the disease, some of them more dangerous than others. For instance, blood on blood is almost certain to be a transfer. Through the air is less so, but there is a danger to being within the vicinity of a blood plague corpse.
Officer Anderson's gonna get a rap and just like slowly creep it up.
I would turn and I would say, these are all plague victims. You should cover your mouths.
Well, I'm already on you on that one. I've seen enough in my time.
My sister died to the blood plague. It was awful. Terrible.
It
It's
is
just
awful, but as I say that, I'm just like still trying to like stare, kind of like in awe and also kind of terrified.
Hey, Gracie, did you work with a lot of these type of people before prison?
No, I don't know much about it. I'd like to know more.
Do you have any other recommended tips though from your line of work here? I saw what you did back in the tunnel for that dying man. You look like you know a thing or two.
I know a thing or two. These people can't be helped.
Certainly can't. They're ready to go to the sardine factory, if you know what I mean.
I know we walked forever to get down here, but I really think we should turn around. They didn't make it out. I don't see how we can.
No. We can't go back. There's no other way around. Hey, Diggory, is there any other way around? Is this it?
I mean, you could go through the main gate, but there's so many guards, and then we've already gone in the opposite direction.
All right, look. I'm going to stop you right there. It's either we go through the gate with all these guards, and we all risk dying that way, or we take our chances here with these corpses that are already dead. We just get through them as quick as we can.
In my head, they're like piling the floor. Like, how many are there?
You've only seen a few so far.
Oh, okay. I was picturing just like stacks of dead bodies.
I'll let anyone who wants to, I'll let them roll an investigation check.
I'll do that.
I would like to.
Oh, good.
You can both do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
7 for Gracie.
Where is it?
Officer Anderson.
There it is.
19. Gosh. Most competent
Anderson's
cop
probably
ever.
worked a murder scene or two in his life.
I worked a few, yeah.
You know what a body looks like when it's been moved, and what you can tell based on the way that they're lying, the way that they're propped up, they didn't just die and fall down here. Somebody brought them here and carelessly threw them to the floor, to the wall.
Hey guys, this I mean, look at the way they're splayed here. This ain't no this ain't no sign of the death. This is where the dead were carried to. Somebody dumped them here. This is a dumping ground. So if somebody was able to get in here and put a body here, there's got to be
able to get out. Yes.
I say we keep going forward. Don't touch nothing. Don't lick nothing. Keep your faces wrapped. Let's move quick and get out of here. All right.
Yes, I'd rather take my chances with this plague than those guards.
Is that acceptable with you, Gracie? You all right?
All right, let's go.
Zankar, you're not gonna burn nothing, are you?
Please don't.
He looks at you with a rat tail hanging out of his mouth. What?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Don't burn nothing. Join us. Hey, Donald, you doing all right on the tail gunning still? Need to swap?
I can't see a thing outside this torchlight, and honestly, all the death you guys have been causing is really kind of creeping me out a bit. And now I'm seeing corpses everywhere. I'm not sure I'm really holding on too well here. So the faster we get out of here, I think I would really appreciate it.
Perfect. Hold off on losing your lunch until we're clear. All right, everybody, let's move. Let's go.
All right.
So you continue down the tunnel, and slowly ahead of you, the tunnel begins to become choked with unmoving bodies. And that's when the stench really starts to hit you, because some of these bodies are a little fresher than others. And just when
how fresh? Like how?
Several weeks would be the newest. So
Okay.
not days, but certainly more than the first remains that you saw the further you get into the tunnel.
Is there any recognition of who the bodies are? Are they wealthy? Are they poor? Is it a random smattering? Or is it seem to be a certain financial...
Men, women, children, all stripped of their clothes, all stripped of their belongings.
Elves and humans, dwarves, everything?
Elves and humans, none of the more exotic races, but you would know. Yeah, you would know that those are more rare in this area of the continent. That
All right,
this continent is mostly elves and humans.
All right, it's just a straight dump then. All right, everybody keep going.
It's when you think that the stench is going to overwhelm you that maybe you can't take any more steps as these bodies, you actually have to begin working your way around them, stepping over top of them. There's so many of them that you see two great sights ahead of you. A very large pile of dead bodies, much larger than what you've seen before, smothering the entire way forward in the tunnel. You would have to climb over it to proceed. But beyond that mass of cadavers is a light at the end of the tunnel.
All right.
Like a natural light? Like sunlight?
Roll me a perception check.
I critted. Critically
At first, at first you think it's maybe lamplight or something, but then as you are sort of squinting over this pile, you realize that's what the moon looks like. It must be nighttime, but you're sure it's natural light. You're sure it's moonlight, and there beyond it, the pale green hue of grass covered in it.
So when you say wall of bodies, by the way, are we talking like floor to ceiling with a tiny hole, or how?
No. About your height. You would have to climb over a pile about your own height.
Is there any planks or anything we can lay down and walk on?
No.
No.
It's just a simple stone.
We should have taken some of those guards' uniforms and we could have just laid them out like a rug over this mess. But we didn't think that far ahead. We were trying to be quick. So,
Lord. All right, guys, we got a problem here. There's a wall of bodies, all of them plague victims, taller than I am, and we need to get through them to get out. Any suggestions? Because I'm getting out of ideas here other than just speed walking through this son of a gun.
We go that way. He just points towards the tunnel. He's like, I see a light. That's the way we need to go.
I mean, that is the way out, isn't it?
All right.
what if we burn the corpses? Do we know if the... You know, I'm just saying we could do
That's
that.
the plan.
And then we could
Let me tell you, the smell of burnt flesh and hair is so much better than decaying corpses.
Well, you don't have to touch them if you burn them, is what I was going to say.
Oh, God. You're probably right. Oh, Lord, is there any way for us to stay away from this fire so we don't get, choked to death on this one here? And he's going to kind of look around the tunnels and try and gauge him.
Can I point out something, officer? The fresh air is that way. We're on the far side. You burn that, and we will suffocate.
Yeah, that's
or
exactly.
die of smoke inhalation or something.
Is that
along
how
those
that
lines.
works? I don't know.
Yeah, proper ventilation is an issue in confined spaces.
My servants always lit the fires for me. So
Kasuf will protect us!
No,
I'll ride on his back.
right. Well, fine. I'll go first. I'll just start climbing.
Yeah, how about you go first then?
All right,
great.
I will go
for
first,
fun.
and I
Yeah.
will. Well, do I think that we would have to touch the corpses less if someone was on one side and giving a leg up?
You'd still have to climb about 15 feet long. So you could get on top. So you're stepping on the corpses with a little bit of a boost.
Okay.
But you're still going to have to kind of move your way through them.
Gotcha. She's just trying to think for... She thinks she's immune, but she's trying to think for everybody else.
You know what? Gracie she's just gonna go for it.
Yeah. Gwendolyn, too.
Probably not even gonna say anything about it. I'm just gonna start doing it because if I get the plague, I'm gonna die anyways in this dungeon. I might as well die in the moonlight.
Anyone who wants to climb over the corpse pile can make me an athletics or acrobatics check.
Oh, well,
Your choice.
let's try acrobatics. 18! Just scrabble up them.
12. I mean 11.
Gwendolyn, you're first up, and very deftly you're able to step able to keep your footing, move from body to body, the tops of heads, the tops of legs, different ages, different conditions. And you do hopscotch your way over the corpse pile and onto the other side. You land with a thunk. Gracie, you're second up. You're about halfway through and you're feeling good when your leg falls through between two bodies, and it's like it's suction cupped downward. You feel like something's reaching up and pulling downward as you begin to sink into the middle of this corpse pile.
Oh, Christ, I knew I wasn't going to make 40, and Officer Anderson's going to run out there to try and get her and pull her up.
Roll me an athletics or acrobatics check.
While this is happening, I'm keeping an eye on the darkness behind us because that's what my job did the entire time, and I'm listening to see is anyone coming. I've got two daggers out.
Roll me a perception check, Deadeye. Meanwhile, Officer Anderson, you are able to climb up. And Gracie, as you're pulled down, what do you do?
You know, I think I'm just gonna accept it. Like, I'm gonna hope. I'm gonna stick my hand up and hope, but I'm not gonna struggle and fight.
Curse this fight life.
You sink down, and it feels like you're gonna be submerged in these bodies, and then you hit something solid. Your feet hit something solid, and you're about waist high when you finally stop, and that pulling sensation stops. You feel trapped. You feel constricted. But there's nothing actually grabbing at you and pulling at you. And Officer Anderson scrambles up after you, and with a hand, you are able to, with that 18, I'll say, you're able to help get her out, pull her, and the two of you are able to make it over into the other side of the pile.
When Anderson gets to the other side, he's going to be, yeah, nice job, Gwendolyn. That was some good hopping there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was quite agile.
Yeah, whatever. Hey.
That's what my husband always used to say, at least.
And Eva, you can tell me your stories later on. Hey, Zankar, Pyro. Yo, Deadeye. Guys coming?
Yes, I will.
What's your footing?
Yes, the corpse is
Thank
under
you for
suspicion.
saving me.
Yes, it's all fine, whatever.
Deadeye, you don't see anything in the darkness. You don't hear anything behind you. You just hear the whistling of the wind outside on the other side of the tunnel, not too far now, the rustling of leaves or something.
Zankar, go ahead, go. I've got your back. Go, just go.
Okay. I will tiptoe on the skulls.
Tiptoe through the corpses.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And you struggle. You trip several times. You find your face falling forward and landing in the face of a woman who's probably only been dead for a couple of weeks. She's one of the freshest, and that stench goes up your nose, fills the inside of your mouth. You can see worms crawling on her face just centimeters from yours, writhing.
She burns.
You shove the torch into her face, and just like before, her skin does melt if you hold it there long enough. And you are able to slowly have to crawl your way, but you're able to crawl your way through the corpse pile and plod to the other side.
Imagine he's still crawling with the torch. There's just like a little like fire trail across.
All right.
Oh, God. Nice crawling there, Zankar.
Thank you.
I really liked what you did with the face and the torch. It was just, you know. It was really
Is everyone through?
Hey,
Except for you.
We need you in the night. Hey, Diggory.
Oh yes, Diggory.
Oh, maybe Deadeye should go first. Maybe I'll go last. He's kind of.
Oh no.
That's a wonderful idea. Good job, Diggory. And I'm gone.
Wait, it's very dark back here. And he, as soon as you hit the corpse pile, Deadeye, he's like on it with you almost. Like he jumps on it, trying to keep up with you. Go ahead and roll me athletics or acrobatics check.
17. For did I all
He-
agree?
He's not able to keep up with you. You get up on top and you are bouncing corpse to corpse. You're moving pretty easily. You've watched a couple of people go ahead of you and you're using that to your advantage. When you look over your shoulder through the darkness, you no longer see Diggory. Officer Anderson?
Diggory.
I think I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Christ.
There's something moving.
Looks like I picked a bad day to stop drinking, and he's gonna go charging after him.
Are you taking any light source with you? It's dark back there now.
Give me your torch, Zenka. That's a good point. Light up another one for crying out loud.
You're good. Okay. You like
That creepy laugh is too great.
That was beautiful.
All right, make me another pair of athletics or acrobatics checks. Meanwhile, Deadeye, you are able to continue on if you'd like, or you can stay behind and help Anderson.
I don't want to, but he will. He'll stay. He'll turn around and try and help Anderson get the night out.
All right. Anderson, I'll let you roll twice more with advantage. So your first two rolls are 14 and 13. This is with Deadeye helping.
Then roll 2 more.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ah! You made it worse. Go away. Shoot. Go away.
The three of you try to figure out for a while how to get this body that's fallen on top of poor Sir Diggory, who is still dressed in his mail, is too heavy to really be climbing over large piles of corpses. But nothing stops you. Nothing keeps you from doing it. He's crying. He's weeping audibly, shaking in his armor, but you are able to free him, and slowly, it takes a little bit of time, you all make your way to the end of the corpse pile, and finally, all of you are on the other side. And he's breathing hard. Thank you.
Yeah.
You look great.
Sanka,
Yes.
do me a favor. I just feel better if you burnt all that.
I'm with him on this one.
Burn it, please.
Don't you hate when people tell you to do things you're going to do anyways?
So I will say at the end of, now that you're all past, what you would see is that there's at the end of this tunnel, there's also a heavy metal portcullis. It doesn't seem to have any sort of locking mechanism, but it does block the tunnel to the countryside, which glimpses to the natural moonlight beyond.
Is there like a lever or anything on the other side of the tunnel?
No, there's nothing that appears like it would work easily. You might have to lift it, but there's also, like I said, no lever, no noticeable locking mechanism.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just push on it or lift it. I mean,
Maybe we should use one of those long swords as leverage. We picked up a few. Like help pry it open.
or we could just, put all of our weights into it and use that to prop it open. We can all slip through whatever we need to do here. Which, by the way, Donald, Deadeye, thanks for your help, man. I appreciate it.
I wouldn't want to leave anyone back there if I could help it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Look, hey, Zenka, get your torch over here on that side of the gate. I'll get mine over here on this side. Let's start looking for some, hinges or something.
I'm already throwing torches into the pile.
Oh.
So it doesn't light up quickly. Things don't burn that fast and spread that fast, but slowly.
Well, at least we have a good light source to see what we're doing with this portcullis.
A black smoke rises from the pile, and most of it moves in the other direction of the tunnel, but some of it is choking to you closer you are to the pile. The smell is certainly awful.
That's it, Zenka. When I get out of here, I'm getting so far away from you.
All right, we can leave now.
Did it look like they were trying to seal off that entrance with corpses?
It's hard to say. You know that they were dragged throughout the tunnels and that this is the highest concentration. it's possible that they brought them into the tunnel through the gate.
Yeah, are there any like signs of drag marks or heavy traffic through the gate?
Roll me let's call it an investigation check.
Sure. Natural 20.
You notice some definite drag marks in both directions, that bodies were dragged both from the dungeons through the dust into the tunnel, but most of the marks are now in the mouth of the tunnel where you are, seeming to stretch towards the pile.
I think most of them were dragged in from the outside.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
Yes.
Good perception right there.
Thank you.
All right, how do we get this gate open? Is there any kind of... he's going to like put his weight into it and try and
try to lift it up. It's
shove it, try and lift up. He's going to try several different modes
of... It's a portcullis. It goes one way, up and down. It doesn't... It's not a gate.
You never know with these old gates, you know. Old city.
Actually, I do know. In my estate, we had, a nice portcullis on it. It was rather new. We installed it, but it's 3 years
portcullis
back.
in your estate, huh? Did such a good job of keeping the plague out of your house, huh?
Well, the plague never was in my house. I will have you know. It was my sister's house who got it. They didn't have a portcullis installed. They didn't keep the rabble out.
And Anderson, at this point, you feel the gate give a little, and you realize that there's nothing holding it down besides its own weight.
Okay. All right. Well, then he's just gonna be like, "Hey, did I, Sankar, and hey, Diggory, I need your help here. Come on, buck up. Need your help. All of us together. Lift."
Yes, I will come help you. I pretend to lift the gate.
All right, everybody, lift on the...
Gracie's pretty strong. She'll help.
I will stand back and let the peasantry work.
So I'll let one person make an athletics check at advantage, considering you're all kind of working together at this gate.
I'll go for it. Why not?
I'm supervising.
Supervising. That's where we get the advantage from.
You start to lift the gate, and it's at that point that something changes in the air, something electric, and you feel the hairs on the back of your neck start to prickle upward. And it begins with a subtle sound, like the rustling of dry leaves. When you look back to the congregation of burning carrion behind you, you see that the cadavers are moving.
Oops!
The dead things you just climbed over, the things you just burned, are starting to squirm and writhe and dance like a single organism, a pulling mass.
Oh,
faster, lift it faster.
Lift faster, yep.
You've got the gate about halfway up at this point.
I'm going to start crawling underneath. I'm out.
Gwendolyn crawls beneath. What's everyone else doing? Or is everybody still trying to hold the gate?
Anderson's gonna
get down on the No, sorry.
Donald slides through as soon as he can get through.
Anderson's gonna out of sheer fear and terror of seeing what's coming, he's just gonna get that fear strength to just like overhead press and lift it up and like go, and then he's gonna try and step underneath it to
underneath it.
Behind him.
Gracie, what's Gracie doing? Is she still helping with the gate?
100% scurrying underneath.
So with the two of you,
but yes, I'll help it until then.
and Sir Diggory, who at one point was helping to lift the gate, but now he's turned and shaking. And
Anderson's gonna kick him in the butt with his foot. Move it, Diggory. Like literally, he's gonna do like a side kick with his foot to his butt. Like move it.
Roll me one more athletics check at advantage with Deadeye and the officer working together to lift the gate.
16.
You finally managed to get the gate open and push past the hungry horde, and all of you are able to scramble through as the portcullis slams shut behind you, trying to trap the horde inside. Already they are moving, crawling over each other, scurrying along the walls like a spider, rushing towards you, some of them burning, some of them not burning,
I think
some of them screaming.
Let's keep moving, guys, quickly. Come on, let's go.
Gone, already gone.
Is getting dragged away.
Diggory's not with you.
Hey, wait, who's not with us?
Diggory.
Sir Diggory.
Anderson's gonna turn and grab him, and he's gonna yell for the group to keep moving. Deadeye, take the front. Zankar, you get up there on the front with him. And,
he's trapped on the other side of the gate, and he's trying to pull up the gate from his side, his armor again shaking. You see those tears again streaming down his face as the horde is rushing towards him.
Anderson's gonna
their hands
gonna charge back at the gate and try and lift it. Diggory, you fool! What are you doing? And he's gonna just start trying to lift it and raise it.
Gracie's gonna help
me.
Roll me an athletics check at advantage.
Don't do it, Anderson. We don't have time.
Oh, 11.
Your fingers are slippery from sweat, exhaustion, the late night mist here in this grassy plain just outside the tunnel, and you have it about halfway open, and he starts to pull under as the horde is coming behind when your fingers slip and the gate slams to the ground. You watch as Sir Diggory gets pulled back by the hungry creatures, and he struggles. He forces his face up against this checkered iron bar of the portcullis, and you see his flesh breaking against the iron. Help me, save me, he says.
I'm sorry, Diggory. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And Anderson's just gonna stand there saying, "I'm sorry." He's gonna be kind of choked and lost.
Within sight range?
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to watch this, you can all watch this.
I think that Gracie is. I mean, she can't lift it by herself, clearly, but she's trying, and she's probably like freaking out and crying. Just feels so guilty.
Donald throws one of his daggers right at.
Gracie would
Yeah,
Eldritch
I'm
Blast.
going right for his eye. I'm going to try.
Put him out.
Yeah, put him out with one dagger throw.
You can each roll me an attack at disadvantage because it's hard to target through.
Officer Anderson.
Okay. Well, okay.
Dagger in the back, Eldritch Blast.
I'm also going to I'm going to use a superiority die to make it a precision attack, so I get to add a D8 to that. So.
11.
And 24.
You manage to throw your dagger perfectly. This is your skill. This is your claim to fame. And it flies through the air, slipping between 4 walls of iron rungs, and strikes Diggory in the eyes right as he says, "Help me." And you watch as Officer Anderson, you're the only one close enough to see this. The light fades almost immediately from his eyes, and the dead things beyond the gate tear him apart, limb from limb, begin making a grisly meal of his intestines. You can continue to watch, or you can stop me.
Anderson just looks one final time and says, "I'm sorry," and he's gonna turn and go to Gracie. "Gracie, come on, let's go." And he's just gonna grab her and turn her around like forcefully by the shoulder and shove her forward, like, "Let's go, let's go."
I would keep trying to turn around and watch.
He's gonna try and grab your shoulders and turn and peel you away and shove you forward. Say, "Move it. We need to go, Gracie. We need to go."
Donald's on his knees.
Able to catch glimpses. Anyone who tries, it's hard to see through this burning, writhing mass as they feed on him, his flesh, what's left of it. And at last, with a spray of blood and gore through the gate, his end comes. And when the savage horde is finished with him, they begin to slink back into the tunnel, into the dark. They move with a sort of disquieting unison as one single, almost hive mind. And when they disappear into the hungry shadows you escaped from, Gracie, you, as you're fighting with Officer Anderson to look back, you can see their wicked eyes on you, staring at you, almost beckoning you to join them until they finally disappear into the dark. But you've escaped from the dungeon. They're all alone now.
What do we do now? I've never.
We do not go back inside. That is what we do. We never go back into these dungeons again. And if we do get thrown into jail, we don't go out that way. We go out through the guards. And we just set all the guards on fire, like Zenkar wanted to do in the first place.
Anderson's gonna step away from where we came out and just be kind of down and sad. Take a deep breath and kind of You know, kind of hyperventilate, breathe for a second, then just chill, and then kind of look around and see if he sees anything. Try and push away that sight of seeing the knight eaten alive like that, and focus as best as he can on what's around him, and try and get a stock of where he is in the city, if he's been here before as an officer before, and try and see where the heck they are and get his mind off of what he just saw.
I need everyone to make me a wisdom saving throw and a constitution saving throw.
Lovely. I got a nat 1 on the wisdom save and a nat 20 on the con save.
Gwendolyn and Gracie, you can't get that image of what you saw out of your mind, and what you didn't see, what you can only imagine. And how you react to that, how it affects you, is up to you and your character, but it lingers. It burns its way into the back of your eyes. When you close your eyes, you can see it even clearer than when your eyes are open. And Zankar, you begin to sputter. You cough. You're just once, and then again, and then you feel maybe it's the smoke or something has gotten into your lungs, but you feel it's hard to breathe, and you have to take a moment to stop and kind of catch your breath.
I'm an old
man. How old is Zankar?
70. But he's a half elf, so he lives a little longer than humans.
Yeah.
So
he's a very violent 70-year-old.
Oh yes, he is.
He's burned a lot of things in his life.
Not
Officer
as
Anderson.
many as he wants. He's been in prison for long.
Well, the knight's still young. Officer Anderson and the rest of you, you see that you stand before the edge of Arkenberry Forest, or what remains of it after centuries of deforestation. Bleached moonlight hangs overhead, illuminating the eerie silhouette of the woods. The tree line is thin and grotesque, but the dark heart of the forest beyond looms like a slumbering giant. Some intangible dread gnaws at you from somewhere down in your gut. After the day you've had, that feeling could just be anxiety, exhaustion. But still, there's something about the ghostly swaying dance of the trees in the moonlight that gives you pause. You would know, Officer Anderson, there are many rumors, folklores, and fairy tales about Arkenberry Forest, and all of them agree. Traveling at night draws the ire of whatever spirits linger within. The clearing you're in now would be a pretty reasonable place to set up camp for the night and wait for the day. You are all very, very tired. But you're not sure if Sir Winton's men will come hunting for you, and you're not that far from the outskirts of Ostwald.
I don't think they're going to make it through those tunnels after us. Just saying.
I don't think anything's gonna make it through those tunnels probably ever again.
A stroke of blind dumb luck or something. I just... Ugh.
Okay, we made it out by the skin of our teeth. I ain't never seen anything like that before in my entire 20 years on the force. That was something else.
Ugh.
And look up ahead. Welcome to Arkenberry Forest. Everything I ever heard of that place, you don't go in there after the sun is set, else you don't come out. We go forward, we may die. We go back, we'll definitely die. We stay here,
It's stupid.
you know, maybe caught again and thrown back into the worst places I ever been in my life. I, for one, am going to that forest edge. I'll take my chances with the forests. At least on the edge for the night. See if we can get help in the morning. What you guys want to do is up to you. You don't have to continue with me on here. You can go your own separate ways if you want, but I heard there's some help out there, somewhere.
Well,
It's supposed to be a cathedral.
if it's
That's where I'm
dangerous to travel the forest at night, I don't think we should all be going it alone.
Sound judgment. So if you guys
Thank you. That's
want
why I
to
was
stay
available.
for the night, yeah, your lordship, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Your title and who you were doesn't mean squat out here anymore. You're just the same as us now.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. Well, look, the rest of you guys can stay here for the night. We can camp together. That's totally fine. All right. But if you want to continue on with me in the morning to find this cathedral out there in the woods, that's fine. I'd love the company. Love it.
Want to get as far away from here as I can.
Zankar, you in?
Yes,
Can't
I'll
believe I'm
start the
asking this.
campfire.
Oh Lord! All right, you better start a good campfire. All right, we're gonna be on the edge of the woods. But if you could please do me a favor, put it behind a big tree so nobody sees we're out here. Maybe a couple big trees. Don't set the tree on fire. Just kind of, block it from view. You get my drift?
I'll help you, Zenkar. I've seen
Yes,
the maids
please
do this
do
in my estate.
You
Hey,
want to build a fire so it stays small.
I want to build a spire so it stays invisible. You think you can do that?
No.
All right, we'll do your best then. All right.
Maybe we should get a little bit further, away.
We can go in a little bit.
Alright.
We're not going deep in that forest.
Okay.
All right? You understand? I'm not going in there that deep. I ain't going in.
What?
So you're all going to go into the forest
To the edge.
Just a little
the
bit.
end.
I don't see why we shouldn't continue. How far away from the prison is the edge of the forest?
It's you've traveled a good ways from the prison itself, but you're still on the outskirts. There's farmhouses around. You're still on the outskirts of Ostwald, the city. The forest itself, to travel through it to get to Arkenberry, it's a several-day trip.
Okay.
And if you want to go into the forest and look for a suitable place to camp, even if you want to go in just a little bit, whoever wants to lead the efforts can roll me a survival check.
I'll do it. I'm a wood elf.
Sweet. Well, that's actually a good question. What is everybody's race here? I can't remember.
Human.
Human.
Ah,
As
well,
everyone's just walking away, Donald is actually still on his knees staring towards the gate. He hasn't moved.
Anderson was going to get to talk to you on that. He was going to look to you and be like, "Hey, Donald, you all right?"
I'm sorry. What do you want, Anderson?
Are you all right?
I mean, sure. I mean, everyone else here has killed people. I mean, I might as well join the group. I mean,
Hey,
this seems to be the thing now.
Donald,
Yeah, yes.
we all got to die sometime. What you did to that man, that was a mercy compared to the pain and the horrible
Are you sure?
at that time. It doesn't feel good to drop somebody, but you drop someone for the right reasons. That's more than most people can say.
If you say so.
Come on, let's get going, man. Come on. He's gonna help him up.
Oh, okay. I'll come along still.
Donald, as you stand, as he helps you up, still staring at the gate, you feel like you can see shapes in the shadows moving. Can't make out the shapes. You just see a swirl of shadow, and then a single figure steps out just into the edge of the moonlight cast through the gate. And you see what's left of Diggory. He's rapping against the gate, your dagger still in his eye. And then he slowly turns and begins to walk away to join what must be the rest of that horde.
Kind of stumble, almost fall.
Did Anderson see that or just him?
If you were looking in with him towards the gate, you would see it as well.
Anderson would probably be having a little bit of hard time breathing, and he'd probably let Donald fall a little bit, but he'd pick him back up and be like, come on, let's keep going.
Are you still sure that was the right thing to do?
Look, I ain't sure. I haven't seen the dead like that walking before.
What is that? I've never heard of it.
I don't know. All right, something's not right. I want to get away from it. I want to get as far away from it as I can. And right now, it's that direction. I'd like you to come with me so we can both get away from it.
Yes, go. Let's leave.
Let's go.
I don't want to ever be here again.
Yeah, let's go. Anderson's just gonna slowly help him hobble.
Towards the front of the group.
Yeah, head towards the group and keep moving towards the edge of the woods.
Does the plague cause people to reanimate? Is that like a common?
You've heard of folk tales saying that that's happened, but you've seen, I mean, the plague has been in the streets. You guys have seen it in your homes. Your neighbors have been taken by it. It's the plague. It's wiped through the continent. You've never seen evidence of it before. You've heard whispers, but to actually see it, that is something entirely new. Gracie, have you ever spent time in Arkenberry Forest before? Are you often out in the woods?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that I would have probably been to the cathedral as well.
Yeah. So you know the path pretty well. You're pretty sure that you're on the southeast side of the forest, that to the southwest through a sort of bog is Arkenberry. And to get to the cathedral, you'll need to move through the woods and through the bog. And that's where the road rejoins on the other side. You also know, because of your time spent in the woods, you've seen, once you're a little into the forest, this area before, and you know that there's a small cave nearby that would probably make a suitable place for camp for the night. It's dry, you've been in there before. It's dry is the biggest thing. You know that rain is frequent to this region, and you don't want to be caught out in it late at night.
Mm-hmm. And how long did you say it would take to get to the cave?
Maybe under the darkness with a number of humans in your group, an hour. It's not far. To get to Arkenberry Cathedral, maybe 2 days.
Okay. I've been in these woods before. If I remember and can place where I am, there's a cave not too far. About an hour, if you would follow me.
Sounds better than just roughing it out in the open.
Yes,
let's do it.
Let's go to this cave. Sounds rustic.
It's a cave.
Good choice of words there. Rustic.
Yes.
And as you move through the skeletal tree line, hearing creatures and sounds that are probably just normal things in the forest, the things that move at night, the nocturnal things. You don't see anything, you're not accosted by anything for that long hour that it takes you to get to the cave, Gracie. But you do find your way there where you've been before, and it's empty. There's signs of previous fires in the middle of this cave that people have started, and the embers and soot still lay there. Rat droppings littering the edge of the cave and in the darkest spots. But it is dry and it is empty. And if you'd like to make camp for the night and start again in the morning under the daylight, you can absolutely do that here.
I would like to do that. I would like to try to get to an area of the cave. I mean, not far away, but a little bit where I could be alone and secluded, and try to take out my my diary.
It's not a big cave, but there are dark corners, even by firelight. And is Zankar starting a fire?
Well, I can only assume he is.
Well,
I
actually,
didn't even ask, so.
First, He is bathing in the ashes of the old campfire. Ah!
It's been a long time since you've had an ash bath.
Yes.
It's an old-fashioned ash bath.
Then he will go and collect flammables and build a moderate fire that he will spread when we leave.
It's not hard to find. It's not hard to find the necessary wood and ingredients for the fire. You are able to start a moderate fire. Is anyone else doing anything before turning in for the night?
Anderson's gonna see
Besides Gracie.
who all is armed in the group. So who all has weapons? Raise your hand.
I do.
Did we say I still had my packed weapon? Yeah.
Okay,
I don't look armed, but I've cast magic, so you've seen that.
Okay. Anderson will go cut himself a good long, thick piece of stick. Not as a club. It's more like a baton, like he used to have on the police force or something like that. Zankar's got his torch. People got swords and knives. He feels he needs to arm. He was going to make sure everybody was armed, if not otherwise, but that's okay. So he's going to just do that for himself. Make sure he's got a good, solid, stout club.
Donald goes out with him and looks for a small piece of sapling or something green, maybe about flute length. He's got carving. He's a wood carver too, so he's going to try and make himself something.
All right. Both roll me survival checks. And Gracie?
I also wanted to just try to inspect to see if anybody had hurt themselves, to see if I could help.
I think everyone's managed to avoid danger, but if you want to go and take the time to kind of check everyone out, and you can roll me a medicine check.
Yeah.
Anybody got any mysterious coughs? You know.
I'm sure Zenkar, smoked like
Donald,
6 packs a day.
What's Donald trying to make?
He's trying to make a flute because that's the only instrument he knows how to play, and he's been a wood carver. That was his father's skill, so he learned how to do it at a young age. He's very proficient with it, but it's difficult with a combat dagger.
You're working, and it's the dagger that you're not used to, and it's that image of Diggory, his body, what's left of his meat, banging against the gate and then turning around away from you. Every time that you think that you're starting to make headway, you hear that sound of metal against metal and see him there. You break the wood in a critical place, and it takes you a while before you realize that you're going to have to find a different knife. You're going to have to find a different way if you want to make an instrument tonight. And Officer Anderson, you are able to find a piece of wood that you can use as a club. It'll work as a 1d4 makeshift weapon, but you're not able to find it's not the perfect piece for your baton.
Some little naughty couple thorns,
Gracie, you give everyone a check, and Zenkar, your cough has stopped. Nobody has been cut or particularly wounded. Everything seems lucky. Besides Sir Diggory, everyone seems to have escaped relatively unscathed.
The Sooth watches over us.
Hey, Zankar, who's this Sooth guy, alright? Sooth?
Kazooth!
Kazooth.
Yes!
The Sooth guy. You've been saying him ever since I got into prison with you.
Do you not know?
Enlighten me.
Oh dear.
He's the god of fire, flame!
Got a fire and flame.
Yes. Ever burning.
Sounds like a very warm guy.
Indeed. Do you wish to know more? I'll tell you more, but I probably have to look it up.
Maybe another time. It's all right.
What's Lady Gwendolyn doing?
Lady Gwendolyn, She's probably been surprisingly quiet. She was not known for being the most quiet of cellmate or prisoner in the dungeons. She's maybe like brushed off some dust and kind of just nestled herself in the corner, and she's kind of just hugging herself and almost just muttering to herself. And she's just, you know, thinking back about the events that happened today and the events that led up to her getting imprisoned, and she's just thinking about everything.
You all feel the same thing, and that's that it's hard to imagine being able to sleep on a night like tonight, having been through what you've been through, that you maybe thought that fresh air would taste better, and that the cold wind on your face would feel better. But tonight has gone in a way that you could have never predicted, in a way that you'll never forget. And though you are exhausted, it's difficult to sleep. Is anyone trying to go to sleep tonight? How about Deadeye? Is Deadeye gonna try to sleep tonight?
I have a feeling he's going to try, but I don't think he's going to be successful.
He's had a particularly rough night, and Officer Anderson you're staying up all night. So I need Officer Anderson to make me a Constitution saving throw, Deadeye to make me a Wisdom saving throw.
Nat 20, Officer Anderson. Oh, 3 for Deadeye.
Officer Anderson, you are able to stay up through the night, and you'll be able to keep watch without gaining exhaustion. You're able to will yourself through it. You're able to stay focused. You're in charge of this group. You're responsible for these people.
My thought of getting us out of there and pressing on and getting vengeance is keeping me going, man.
Deadeye, you try, but like I said, when you close your eyes, the sounds are louder. You remember things clearer. You can see things that you didn't even see. Things that you could have only imagined. What happened up close? What happened from other perspectives? You imagine the event again and again and again. You're not going to sleep tonight, and you will suffer through the night. You will gain a level of exhaustion. Gracie, as Encarn Gwendolyn managed to fight their way to sleep, you have found yourself to a dark corner of the cave, and you've pulled out your journal. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with the journal?
What I always do. Trying to read it.
Roll me a religion check. Just like so many times before, you feel like the shifting runes on the page are almost coming into focus, that they're almost where you need them to be. But then
Go ahead.
then they are just strange scribbles that you don't understand again. You hear the whispers in the back of your mind at the same time, words that you don't understand.
I would try to angle myself as away as I can and try to cast light on it again. But I don't want anyone to see, so I'm trying to be stealthy about it.
You're able to do it and douse the light. And with everyone besides Officer Anderson trying to go to sleep at least, I'll let Officer Anderson roll me a perception check to see if he can see the light.
22.
22.
I'll let Gracie roll me a stealth check to see, or sleight of hand, either way, to see if she can keep it smothered from him. You do see the light begin to glow in a dark corner of the cave, Officer Anderson. You see Gracie there huddled over it. It's mostly masked.
When she cast the spell in the tunnel, was there a glow from that as well?
The glow comes from the book itself that she's holding, and Gracie, you hear Those whispers louder and louder in the back of your mind.
Officer Anderson's gonna gently get up and just casually, somewhat quietly out of respect for the people trying to rest, walk over to her, and not trying to be coy or hide about it, just approach her and kind of kneel down in front of her quietly and slowly just be like, "Are you hurt?"
I'm not hurt.
See your glowy thing there. That happened in the tunnel. And just wondering if maybe like your leg was hurt or something, or you're hiding something. You hurt? You all right?
I was just practicing.
What you practicing? Are you you a healer?
Yes, I am. I'm a cleric. I haven't been able to cast spells since I've been in the prison, though. They've taken an important piece from me, but I was able to channel it through this diary that I have, but it didn't work the way I wanted. Not the way it normally does.
I mean, is there anything you can do with it, or is it just kind of a hope and a prayer?
Well, isn't everything?
True. I guess us getting out of there was just a hope and a prayer. But we made it. So, who knows, maybe your book there will work.
I can't even read this book. That's what's funny.
Is that your book? Where'd you get it?
It's something that I always have had, but I can't for the life of me tell you where I found it now.
Mind if I get a look at it there?
Okay.
He's just gonna...
I'll show him, but I won't hand it to him.
Yeah, he's just gonna look at it and just admire it. You know, being friendly and nice. Not looking for anything particular. Just sharing in the moment of looking at the book, and he's like, "Oh, it's a nice book you got there, and yeah, looks like a lot of gibberish."
It is.
Yeah. Well. Alright, well, if you can get some sleep, I'd recommend you try and get some tonight. Ain't gonna be sleeping for me. Hey,
I don't think I'll be able to sleep either. I might try. I guess, what else do you do in a cave at night?
Think about what your next move is. That's what I'm gonna be doing. He's gonna get up and walk back towards the opening of the cave and just kind of sit down and back to the wall and just kind of deadpan look out, just kind of look and think.
Once he's gone, once he returns to the mouth of the cave, what does Gracie do?
I wouldn't put the book away and I wouldn't put the light out. I wouldn't really do anything.
During your conversation, those whispers continued louder, and then slowly, gradually softening. They're not gone. They're still there. You still can't understand what they might be trying to tell you to do. As he sits there at the mouth of the cave, you see two Officer Andersons sitting side by side, staring outward, keeping watch. And then you see a dark shape on the other side of the cave outside begin to move towards him. He doesn't seem to notice.
Does it seem real to me?
I'll let you roll me a perception or arcana check, either one. It seems like what you saw before. It feels real. It looks real.
I would stand up and I would close the book, hoping that would cause the image to go away, but still I would close it and drop the light cantrip, and I would go and I would sit next to Officer Anderson and just like put a hand on his shoulder, but not really tell him why.
The dark shape goes away when you close the book, and the light goes away with it at the same time. When the light blinks out, so too does the shadow. You sit there at the edge of the cave with Officer Anderson, staring out into the dark, into the forest. You hear the creatures beyond doing what they do at night.
Officer Anderson's got playing in his head though the stuff with the zombies, and in that tunnel, still fresh.
I would just leave my hand on his shoulder and just, I'm not going to be sleeping tonight either.
Yep. Gonna be a long night.
Gracie, are you trying to sleep or are you trying to stay up?
I'll try to stay up.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 15 minutes, but the two of you sitting there at the mouth of the cave, staring out, cold breeze on your face, at some point, you fall asleep. You slump over, your head falling onto Anderson's shoulder. Anderson, you notice her leaning there against you, unconscious.
He just lets her stay there. He just doesn't move. He just sits there staring in the distance.
Anderson, roll me a perception check. It's not a quiet night, but it's a calm night. You see shadows move and things move in the dark that make you think the worst possible thoughts, especially after what you've seen, but nothing approaches you, and you are able to make it through the night, keeping watch, without any harm coming to the party. Everyone else, except for Anderson, you are all haunted by a grim vision come the witching hour. This is a vision you share together. You find yourselves back in the secret tunnel running below Oswald's dungeon. You are running from a writhing mass of plague-touched undead. You see the portcullis again, just like before you, closing, threatening to trap you in with the horde. You dive, you crawl, you fight your way through, and you're able to make it through the portcullis before it slams shut. Behind you, as once again you are outside at the edge of the forest, you hear the dead ones call back in one single voice, begging you, save us from the heartless man. Please, save us. And when you turn to look back through that gate, you see that it's not an undead horde that you've left behind. It's people that you know in your lives. It's people you care for, family members, friends. In Zankar's example, Sparky.
No.
Gwendolyn, you see familiar faces too. You see the faces of your servants, the faces of your husband, the faces of your children staring at you, accusing you in the dark.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me. No one can prove it. I don't know what happened.
They're all still alive. They're not undead. They're just trapped on the other side of the gate. Maybe it's not too late. Donald, you see Diggory alive on the other side of the gate.
He just sits there saying, I'm sorry, over and over and over. I'm sorry. I thought we helped. I'm sorry. I'm really so sorry. Please forgive me.
He opens his mouth to answer you, but what comes out sounds like ash on the wind. Sound of Zankar rolling around in a fire pit.
Kind of confusing. Wasn't
Donald,
what I expected.
you find yourself becoming very dizzy as before, and you stumble. When you fall to your knees, you cut your hand, your palm, on a sharp stone that's on the ground. And when you look up, it's not the gate that you're looking at. You're looking up at the top of a hill, a small hill, nearby hill with a solitary tree, a gnarled, ancient tree. And before that tree, an old tattoo-covered elf wearing raggedy baker's clothing. He sits in a rickety wheelchair on top of that hill, and that's where you see Gracie. Gracie, that's where you find yourself in this dream, kneeling there before this chair, before this tree. She's resting her head atop the lap of this tattooed old elf. Oh.
I think the earbuds died.
Yeah, that happens to me. So I'll say this again. Donald, this is something you see while Zankar and Gwendolyn are looking inside. When you fall and you cut yourself, you look up and you see this barren hill. And on top of that hill, with an old gnarled tree, is an old tattoo-covered elf in beggar's clothing, raggedy clothing, and Gracie. Gracie, you find yourself there in this vision too, and you are kneeling before this tree and this elf. Your head has found itself laying on his knee, and he's slowly stroking Gracie's face. He looks not to Gracie, though, but to Donald down the hill. And Donald, when he looks at you, he speaks. You, well, my. You are a strong one, are you not? A fantastic specimen. He continues to stroke Gracie's hair. And Gracie, you find yourself oddly comforted and at the same time entirely unsure of where you are. But there's something about this old elf's voice in this dream that reminds you of the whispers that you've heard.
Gracie, who is your friend?
I don't know, really. I don't know how we got here.
You hear a rattling behind you, Donald, and Gracie. You see behind Donald Gwendolyn and Zankar and the gate, the portcullis. You hear the rattling of the people inside, the ones trapped on the other side. And you again hear, "Save us, please, save us. Save us from the heartless man."
I can try. I don't.
Your kids, your children, step to the edge of this gate and they reach their little hands out through the openings.
For the kids. If it was probably just her husband, she'd be like, help me. But the kids. So, she's gonna like, Susan, Billy, everything's gonna be just fine. We're gonna get you out of here somehow. I don't know how you're alive, but I'm happy to see you're not like 8 pieces on the floor. Don't ask questions. Mommy's gonna get you out of here.
They're pleading with you in the meanwhile. Save us, please, mother.
I'm not very strong.
Roll me an athletics check.
Mommy is not terribly strong.
You're unable to lift the gate, but you feel their fingernails digging into your skin. And though they're pleading with you, their eyes show something else. Their eyes show resentment, accusation again. And behind them, somewhere back in the shadow, you see a flickering flame, and through that a shape that for an instant, it reminds you of another figure. A figure that you once made a pact with. One that you owe something to yet. and then that flame is gone. At the same time, Gracie, you feel that elf's hand, that one that was stroking your hair, move down to the back of your neck, and it starts to squeeze. My, very strong specimen.
Can I reach up and try to like grab his hand to make him stop?
Absolutely.
Actuality, while you're asleep, like Officer Anderson stroking your hair. It's like,
She smacks you in the face. Yeah, and you do. You throw his hand off, and at the same time, you smack Officer Anderson in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's at that moment that all of you snap to. You waken, some of you in a cold sweat, those affected by the dream.
hey,
You're so close!
Sparky is gone. For
No!
a second, you think you see him, and then you realize it's just the embers of the
Oh.
fire you started the night before.
oh,
We have to go back!
what?
We have to go back! Sparky's in the...
What? No, hey, what? Zankar, wait, hey, what? He's gonna like ease Gracie off. Hey, you were dreaming. You're dreaming. There's no Sparky back there.
We were all in jail together, right? Because I allegedly murdered a bunch of people. Because I don't remember doing it.
Yeah, we were all
Okay.
in jail. We're
All
now
right.
out of the jail.
All right, so
It is now morning time, and Officer Anderson, you've kept watch throughout the night, and dawn is just starting to break when everyone snaps awake.
Bags under the eyes. Did I notice? I mean, was there a pattern to them waking up like all at the same time?
Simultaneous. The only thing that happened before everyone woke up simultaneously was Gracie reached up and slapped you just a couple of seconds before everyone woke up.
I was distracted by the slap. I didn't notice everybody wake up at the same time.
That was the most disturbing dream. Everyone was there except for you, Anderson. Gracie, you were.
Did you dream that we were all in like the place and there was the grate and Zenkar was all about this fire thing and then my kids were still alive? I think my husband was too, but I wasn't really paying attention.
I didn't see them. I saw Diggory. I saw him still there, but I fell again, and I looked up on the hill, and Gracie had her head in the lap of some old tattooed elf.
Gracie.
I didn't know him.
We've all been there,
wait,
dear.
wait. You were in the lap of an elf in your dream, though. How did he know that?
We had the same.
No. There's no way. No. Look, people have weird dreams after seeing traumatic things, alright? It's like some sort of horrible stress disorder.
Some
or something.
people do things like sleepwalking, baby murder. With
Yeah,
their dreams.
exactly. There ain't no way you guys all had the same dream, alright? There's no way.
It can only be interpreted by as signs from Kasuth. We must follow them.
Sure, as long as it doesn't lead back there and it
I
leads
think they're
to
all dead.
I saw him. He was there.
Well,
Gracie, do you know where it was you were when you were with that elf? It was a barren hill, a gnarled tree.
If you did say that I knew where it was, my headphones died and I didn't hear that part.
So I'll say, yeah, sorry about that.
So no, sorry for my part.
Oh, it happens to me sometimes too. Yeah. Basically, you started the dream at the edge of the gate, looking inside. You escaped just like before, but when you looked back, it wasn't the undead horde. It was people you knew. But then, in a moment, you found yourself at the top of the hill, this weird hill with a lone, ancient, gnarled tree. You found yourself kneeling, your head laid immobily on the lap of this tattooed, raggedy clothed elf. That's
But
the
I don't
elf.
know. I'd never seen him and I didn't know how I got there.
You're not sure how you got there in your dream, but you did. There's something about his voice that reminded you of those whispers.
Yes. Okay. So I will tell Donald, No, I don't know how I got there. It was just close to the prison. What about you?
I've had trouble sleeping all night. I'm surprised I fell asleep at all, but I just was in front of the gate again.
I don't know why, but it felt like I knew that elf. But I don't see how I would. His voice just reminded me of something. I can't explain it.
And then I'll remember my hand being cut, and I'll look at the hand. Is it bleeding?
There's a mark there, but it's not bleeding. It's almost like an old wound that you must have had some time ago, but you don't remember ever hurting your hand when you were in the dungeon. Not like that.
Seeing him check his hand, I'm gonna check my arm for scratches from a key.
And again, you see scratches, but they look like they're old. Like you must have had them when you were in the dungeon, but you don't remember scratching yourself. You don't remember ever seeing them before.
Right. Did I sleepwalk? Because I'm pretty sure that's how I got accused of murder. So, were these there before I went to bed? Did I sleepwalk and get them at Anderson? Were you awake all night? Did you see me like sleepwalk and do things?
I was awake the whole night. The only one who did any movement was Miss Gracie here, and she whacked me upside the head. I thought you were just having a bad dream, all right? But none of you did any moving. I swear I saw all of you wake up at like the same time or something. That was really weird, all right? But there ain't no way you guys all were in the same dream together. That just doesn't happen, all right?
Well,
maybe
corpses don't get up and try and eat us.
that's also very
similar eating, similar endings. It's a coincidence, all right? It's a coincidence, but
unless, devils were involved or something, if they exist. Which that would be crazy if they did, and I'm definitely not crazy.
Gracie, did you hear him say something about excellent specimens?
Oh, now that you say that, he did, and he grabbed my neck.
He said it to me before he did that to you, and then he said the same thing to you.
That must have been why I hit him.
You mean he hit me?
Yeah.
Oh no, she hit the elf as well. I think that's when she hit you.
She just likes hitting on people, apparently.
Not true. I'm a healer.
Oh,
She likes to touch people, Lay on hands.
Let's focus on the creepy dream first, all right, before you start making moves on people in the group. All right, Anderson? I thought you were more professional than that.
Sorry, I can't help myself. It's been a traumatic night, all right? And not much sleep either.
You count yourself lucky.
you have to make a move on anyone. I don't know, at least do it with someone who reciprocates, like Zenka.
For a minute there, lady, I thought you was going to be offering your services.
But
Everyone roll me a perception check.
Also, everyone apparently dies. So, the guard, the young man, he died. Because I liked him. He was one of the only guards I liked. And I liked him, and so he's dead. It's the only logical explanation. Let me tell you about all of my conspiracy theories, and I'll notice nothing else that happens around me.
Of course. While you talk.
Yes.
Is this Officer Anderson's fourth nat 20 in this game?
It is.
Pretty sure it is.
It's
Yeah.
Officer Anderson, he chose the good lead.
The competent cop in Hot Fuzz. He's like, yeah, I got this, guys. And everyone else is just bumbling around.
Yeah, I'm totally... What's his name from Hot Fuzz? I can't remember his name.
The competent one.
Yeah.
You've heard this sound before, and it's not that far in the distance. It's the deep howling, barking of dogs.
Yeah. Of
Okay.
course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
He's gonna stop everybody with this. Wait, stop, everybody! Shh. He's gonna listen.
I was explaining how I think that.
Shush. Dogs.
As you
They got dogs. We need to go. We need to go now.
Like puppies or hunting hounds?
Hunting dogs.
Oh.
Let's go now.
Goodbye.
Grab-
Just let me gather my things. Oh, I have them already. Let's go.
Kick that fire out. Let's go. We need to get going now.
Yes. I kick the fire over into the forest. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Maybe it'll serve as a good distraction. Oh, God.
Just kick it in the opposite direction we're running. They'll never catch on.
Oh, Lord.
Trees that have stood for thousands of years, unfettered, unharmed by the hands of man or elf, begin to burn. As Zankar starts, for now, a small forest fire.
And we're running.
That's
You're running. You're running away in the opposite direction.
Yeah, opposite direction, deeper into the woods, away from the fire.
Is there anyone who's not running?
I think we're all running.
They're running, I'm running.
Zankar, you really did it now. You really did it now. He's gonna start running. They're gonna see that fire from miles away.
Yeah.
Everyone, roll me an athletics check.
Oh no.
Dear. You're running through the woods.
I'm better at running than I'm at knitting.
We suck at running.
I'm not that bad at running. 15. Everyone else got below 10.
So, Gwendolyn, you find yourself sprinting through the woods, and you're breathing hard. You're running. The dog barking is further and further away. You glance over your shoulder once, and you notice all of your friends are pretty far back, and you have to make a choice right now.
As long as they're still within eyesight, because the dogs will get them before they get me. And so I'll slow a little bit, but I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
I'll be like, just follow me, you'll be fine.
So you are all racing through the woods, and though Gracie knows the way, the rest of you are not familiar with Arkenberry Forest, and these are bloodhounds. Anderson, you know that they're closing on you. You know that they are on your trail. They are on your scent. They are not burning up in the fire that is somewhere behind you.
Gotta run faster. We gotta get deeper in the woods. They're gaining on us. We need to find some way to lose them here. Is there
a river? I've heard if you cross a river, the dogs
I was gonna say, is there a stream or a river or a creek?
There's the bog.
Yes.
You are moving towards the bog, but you haven't reached the bog just yet.
All right, everybody. Anderson's gonna steer everybody towards the bog. He's gonna yell ahead towards Gwendolyn and be like, "The bog! Go towards the bog!"
Okay, yes.
It's gonna start yelling
Lose
for
them in the quicksand.
bog. Move it.
If everyone's continuing to run, I'll let everyone give me one more athletics check.
This is what
Gwendolyn, you can have an advantage on yours.
Yes. I'm so good at running!
6.
Natural 20!
I got good at running this time. I just needed to practice.
Oh, Gracie got a 22.
Officer Anderson, you're the only one who stayed up through the night, who kept watch. You've been dutiful. You've done a lot for this group to escape, to find freedom again, to get revenge on the man who took you down and ruined your pension, ruined your career. But that exhaustion is starting to catch up to you now, and you're feeling yourself tired as you run. Everyone else is ahead of you.
He's gonna be huffing and puffing and running, going, using a prison, zombies, horrible night's sleep, getting whacked by a strange woman in the head who was dreaming, dogs burning forest, crazy pyromaniac, and I'm gonna die in the woods because I ate too many cannolis and donuts.
Actually, Donald is on disadvantage, so he actually had a 6, so he's back.
Oh,
there.
that's right. That's right. And Donald, you too. You tried to sleep, but you didn't sleep. You managed to drift off for a short while, but you didn't. Your sleep didn't give you any purchase. You didn't gain anything from it, and you find yourself falling behind too. Gracie, Gwendolyn, Zankar, you're now well ahead of Anderson and Donald. And then that the barking is so loud that Anderson and Donald, you know, they are upon you. And that's when you hear the muffled cries, the guttural grunts of hardy men just behind the dogs.
Uh,
Gwendolyn, Gracie, and Zankar, are you continuing to run towards the bog? You can almost see it there through the thick trees in the distance.
I am going to go back and light a fire under their asses. Boom!
Gwendolyn's saying goodbye. Gracie?
Gracie is going to start slowing down a little bit to look behind her, to try to gauge whether or not they're going to make it. Because she wants to feel like she's going to do something for them, but she's not sure yet.
Anderson, Zankar, Donald, and Gracie, if she wants, roll me initiative.
Oh. 3.
All right.
Well, I mean, probably better it's on that roll than on some other roll.
give us a chance to get ahead of you.
You had to, yeah, you had to catch up with them. You had to turn around. All right. So the baying of the dogs continues, that barking and the hounds, and you see 3. They're not guards. Anderson, you know these people. These are bounty hunters. These are licensed bounty hunters that have been granted permission to hunt down criminals and ne'er-do-wells by Sir Wenton and the noble knights of the 100. These are the kinds of people who they're a little tougher than guards. They're a little meaner than guards. They go into the dirty places. They do the things that the knights don't want to do. And right now they are 3, and they are hunting you down with a pair of 3 hounds. And when your eyes meet theirs, when they see you and you see them, and Donald, you're there too. If you look over your shoulder, you'll see them. They release the hounds, and the hounds charge forward. The hounds are going to move first, but does anyone want to say anything or do anything before?
Anderson's going to be like, move it! And he's going to shove Donald forward, and he's going to wheel about and turn and get ready to face the dogs with his club. Like, come on. You know, he's just itching for a fight now because, you know, you don't stay in a fight, you're going to die. You're just going to die tired.
So, Donald, how are you reacting when Anderson pushes you?
I see them coming, and so when he goes to push, I kind of expect that he's looking to do the whole, you know, needless sacrifice type thing. And after having to kill one of his compatriots before, he doesn't want to see it happen again. So when he pushes, he kind of like rolls off the push and turns with both daggers out, ready to either throw or stab.
Anderson's all right.
And Anderson has his club, Donald has his daggers, Zankar is rushing behind. He's not caught up yet. And Gracie, are you turning around and trying to help them at this point?
I'm going to slow down. I'm not going to completely stop, but I have some like long range spells I can use.
Perfect. That's great. The dogs charge forward, sprinting, breaking around large old trees. 2 of them leap almost 10 feet from the ground towards Anderson. The third leaps towards Donald. Anderson, I'll let you make an opportunity attack against the third as you've put yourself between yourself and Donald.
Okay.
You swing, and unlike before, you don't find purchase with your attack. Maybe it's the 2 dogs that are charging you and jumping at you simultaneously. So the first 2 will attack. The first one will attack Donald. The next 2 will attack Anderson. Let's see. I've got a 20, an 8, and a 5. So I'm sure that Anderson's AC is greater than 8. 20 beats Donald's.
Yeah.
This dog pounces on you, and it slams into you. It's a large hound, much larger than most. It slams into you with a weight and a force and a ferocity that you weren't expecting. Go ahead and make me a strength saving throw.
Uh-oh. Not bad.
You are able to take the brunt of this, and though you stagger backward, you keep your feet beneath you. You will take, as it gnashes at you with its teeth, 5 piercing damage, but you're able to stay on your feet. Anderson, the 2 dogs that are charging you, how do you defend yourself against them?
Are they coming with, I mean, they're just 2 bullets coming straight for me?
That's right, and they're jumping as soon as they get close enough to you to try to jump and bite, and they're gnashing with their teeth.
He's going to just take his baton out in front of him and shove it forward back into them, like into their face, to try and aim for the mouth.
You're able to push them back, and they snap their teeth. You can see the indents of their teeth in your makeshift baton. You are able to fend them off. We're going to have next up Donald, Anderson, and then we'll have Gracie.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to defend myself from this stupid hound. So I'm just going to take the dagger I have in my right hand and just try and drab it and jack it into its neck. See what happens.
All right.
$24 for 7.
That is a hit. The dog, you jab it into its neck, and there's a spurt of blood. It's still gnashing at you. It's not down.
It's my only attack there. I'll do that, and then I'll just gird myself against further attack.
All right. Meanwhile, as Donald's struggling with his dog, Anderson, you're surrounded by 2 of them, and they're already moving to attack you again. You can see in the distance, breaking through the trees, 3 of these armed bounty hunters. They have light crossbows and short swords on hand. What do you do?
I'm going to take the baton that I have and aim for, I guess, the dog on my right side, or whichever one's closer, right or left. And
right.
He's going to aim with intent to finish this quick. So he's going to go to smack the first dog hard over the head, as hard as he can. And then he wants, as a monk, expend a key point and do a flurry of blows on the dog on the opposite side if he can. He's just trying to end this quick.
Absolutely.
So I guess attack number 1. And then let's see if I remember right. I'm still learning monk. Bear with me 1 sec. I'm seeing how many attacks I get.
You can punch once with your offhand as a bonus action, or if you spend a key point, you can punch twice more for a flurry of
Twice
blows.
more, all right. So that's for the first dog. Bam, bam for the second dog.
Your first strike misses, and it just briefly goes over his ear. The second one hits the second dog square in the nozzle. Give me that damage.
Let's see here.
You just gotta click kapow.
So it hits D4 plus 4.
You just gotta click the word kapow.
Just click on kapow, and it'll give you damage for each one.
Oh, the chat.
I thought that's what I did though with the
Nope,
attacks.
not on your sheet.
No. On in the
actual
chat box.
Oh, I can do that. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
You cave in the second dog's nose, and its snout crunches and smashes under your fist, going into the back of its head, and you feel something soft there beneath your bone, and it whines for a moment and then drops to the forest floor, not moving.
Got 1.
Anything else you want to do?
He's gonna look to his shoulder and see how, with a little bit of fear and tenseness in his eyes, how Donald's doing. Because dodge or try to hit one, hit the other, turn and look, and just look of fear and tense eyes, flash at Don, see how he's holding out against his.
It's just a dog. I'm fine.
It's at that point that
His
3
teeth, though, they're like,
armed bounty hunters break through the trees, and a moment before they act, Gracie has a chance to act.
I think if Gwendolyn sees bounty hunters coming in too, she'll get her packed weapon, just whoop, like behind.
Get back into it. Roll me an initiative, and I'll get you in on the next round.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the how far away am I from the action?
I want to say you're about 100 feet away.
Okay.
Because you've continued to move.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to hit the dog that is actually the bounty hunter that is coming closest towards Officer Anderson. I'd like to try to hit him with a guiding bolt.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
That will be a hit. All right. I got to do this for something I have to do. So describe how this guiding bolt works.
Does guiding bolt? So, it does have the, it doesn't have a material component. Okay. So I think that I would do the spell, trying to remain as quiet as I can, but shoot it at the bounty hunter and just, in some radiant white light.
It's a bright white light stretches from your fingertips, and you hear, even as it's leaving your fingertips, the such a fine specimen, such a strong specimen. That white light turns to shadow and fire as it launches from your fingertips, and it strikes the bounty hunter square in the chest. He stops, his face twisting for a moment with fear and confusion, and then he falls hanging partially over a low tree branch. His weapons drop from his hand and his jaw goes slack, and he does not move again. Is there anything else that Gracie does?
No.
Is there anything else that Lydia does?
It's at that point that the other two bounty hunters do break through the tree line. They raise their light crossbows, and they have two of them. They raise one with either hand, and they double gun you. They're both going to take two shots, one at Anderson and one shooting at Deadeye. And they're both going to hit. Once does, I'm guessing a 10 doesn't hit Deadeye.
Nope, I got a 14.
And does anybody have, in Anderson, does a 22 hit you?
It does, but I'm curious, can I deflect missile on that?
You can.
Absolutely.
You're a monk.
Okay. Let's kind of try that then.
We don't have armor on though, do we?
You don't, no.
Okay.
Reduced by 1d10.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 4.
I was reading the stats for what deflect
Oh,
missile.
yeah.
It's just a damage reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll me 1d10 plus 4, plus 4.
1d10 plus 4 plus 4.
So plus 8. I think it's supposed to be just plus 4 though. Maybe. Ted?
You hear a second before, and you're able to catch the crossbow bolt in your hand.
So cool.
Donald's not so lucky.
Matrixy,
Donald sees Anderson do it. He's like, I can do that. And he goes right through his hand.
And it just catches
Goes right through your hand. You take a 6 piercing damage to your hand.
He's just staring at it. That's funny.
How did you do that?
And they continue to charge, and they throw one of their crossbows away and draw a short sword apiece. So they're almost in melee range of you now. Zankar, it's at this point that you catch up to the edge of the combat right before melee is joined. There are right now 2 dogs, one bleeding heavily from the neck that Donald is kind of scrapping with, one that's untouched, and 2 bounty hunters almost ready to join the fight with their short swords. What do you do?
All right, I say, fools like you have kept me from my mission long enough. And I will channel divinity to get maximum damage on this roll. And I will preference the bounty hunters. But I want to slowly approach, lift up the back of my robe, bend over, place the torch behind me, and shatter. It would be maximum.
So 3d8.
24.
So 3d8. Yeah. And let's see. So you're aiming for with shatter. What's the range on shatter?
I think it's 20.
60 feet.
Hold on now. Oh, range is 60 feet.
So you can put it wherever you want.
What's the I
think it's 10 feet.
Radius
Diameter, so 20
area
foot.
of effect. So I'm gonna let you pick 3 targets here.
Well, I'm just preferencing the bounty
Yeah,
hunters.
it's a 20-foot
Okay.
sphere. Diameter.
And I'll give you the weaker of the 2 dogs as well.
Okay.
The dog makes a saving throw. One of the bounty hunters makes a saving throw. One of the bounty hunters doesn't.
All right. Very
So
good.
let's see that damage.
It's maximum 24.
Yeah.
The 24. So you
Channel
explode.
divinity.
Wow.
The trees go up more. These are trees. People planted these trees 3,000 years ago. These trees have watched empires rise and fall. And now they're gone. Now they're just
I
gone.
can't handle your shatter.
Yes.
The 2 bounty hunters burn up. Like they are almost on top of Anderson and Donald, and they begin screaming. The metal of their short sword begins to melt right in front of you. The dog, one of the bounty hunters makes it through. Does he take half damage from shatter? I can't remember.
I think he does.
Okay. He makes it through. He's screaming, but he's still alive. The dog, however, does also burn up. This is the one that was already mostly dead from Donald stabbing into the stomach. And Donald, you're just able to like back up out of the range of this of fire.
Zanka, was that you?
No, it was Kazuth.
Are we out of combat at this
I'm
point?
gonna need a pen.
Oh no, there's still a wounded bounty hunter and an unwounded dog, and that unwounded dog is about to take a snap at you. Zankar, is your turn done?
Yes, that'll be my turn.
Okay.
Wondering.
So as the fire continues to burn, the dog, the one that has managed so far to avoid your slaughterfest, leaps again at Anderson, and again you're able to fend him off, Anderson.
That nightstick, yo.
This is at the point where Gwendolyn catches up, and you are now within range to act as you see men burning alive, dogs burning alive.
As long as I'm 120 feet away, however, 100. What's Eldritch Blast range? It's a good range. I'm gonna be at the max end of that range, and I'm gonna be aiming for the bounty hunter who's getting crispy.
All right.
I'm just going to, and you couldn't see. No one's nearby enough to see this, which is why I'm using Eldritch Blast. But infernal inky script kind of crawls over her arms a little bit as she casts Eldritch Blast. But it was dark in the prison, so no one really saw it. It's just faint, like ink under the skin, and whoosh, Eldritch Blast. There we go. Let's see. Natural 20. That'll be 8 damage.
you all see this magical bolt of force energy kind of move its way through the trees and strike this already burning guard or bounty hunter right in the face. You can't tell where it came from. It just appeared. Who knows what happened? Maybe you were distracted by all of the fire. The bounty hunter, if he was screaming before, there's nothing left of him to scream. He falls in a heap to the forest. And it's at this point that the dog himself, the only remaining thing alive, begins to whimper and turn away from Officer Anderson and Donald in the front of the row as the fire continues to catch and spread through this area of the forest. Donald, it's your turn.
All right. It looks like the dog is disengaging. Oh, sorry. Am I muted? No.
No.
Does it look like the dog is disengaging from?
It does, yeah. This dog went from ferocious to frightened in the span of 6 seconds.
I understand that completely. Zankar is very, very scary. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to listen to see if there's anything else coming.
All right. Roll a perception check for me.
I hear nothing but the roar of fire.
And Zankar's cackling.
So I will hold an action. I will hold an action to throw my dagger at anything that comes within range that I don't like.
All right. Anderson, what do you do?
Anderson's gonna be like looking around, panting after the fighting and these random energies that came out and attacked things, not knowing where they came from. And we need to go. Come on, leave the dog. We need to go. And he's gonna turn.
We can't have any witnesses.
It's a dog.
He'll go
What are you
back.
afraid-
If he goes back, they'll know. They'll know.
Lady, are you nuts? It's a dog. Let's go.
I'm not crazy, and I'll Eldritch blast the dog if I can.
Well, Anderson's gonna just start moving the other way and he's gonna try and pull Donald with him. Be like, let's move. Let's move. Keep moving.
We need to grab their equipment if we can, if it's not just melted.
Quick, before the fire.
I just
At
realized
this
how
point-
easy it is to follow us.
That's right. You guys
Got a
really
pyromaniac in the group. Man,
leave a trail. As you guys are discussing your
all the
escape,
flaming brick road.
you feel and another one of those weird bolts. You're not sure where it came from. Flies past you, and it strikes the dog in its side, and the whimpering stops.
Now
The
we can't
fire.
tell anyone.
The fire continues to burn.
Look, Donald, if we're gonna grab it, and we need to go now.
Is it possible to get to any of the bounty hunters, or are they all consumed in fire?
One of them was burned up in the fire. One of them was killed by non-fire means. And one of them is like in between. So there's two of them that you can reach if you want to quickly grab yourself some loot. And they have light crossbows and short swords.
Get the,
I'll grab the short swords.
I guess they typically do make it difficult to loot.
Anderson, do you need a sword? I know you like your stick, but the sword, sharp.
Look, I'll tell you about that some other time. Here, no swords. Let's go.
They're big to throw, but I'll be fine. All right, let's go.
I'll
Let's
also
go.
dismiss my pack weapon before
And-
the rest of the group gets to the bog. I'm like,
And as Anderson turns with Donald, checking over the shoulder, running with Donald, sees Gracie, Zankar, the lady and all that, he's just trying to figure out where the heck these bolts of energies came from. He'll log that away for later. Time to get everybody moving, and he'll grab Zankar and spin him around and be like, that was some nice fire you did there. Nice fire. Come on, keep going.
Yes, very nice.
Yes, yeah, God should be pleased. Keep running. Anderson's just trying to keep the group moving. Well, we got this momentum here. We almost died. Let's keep moving into the swamp before more dogs and more fire comes to kill us. So.
Does anybody want to do anything besides run towards the swamp?
I would like to look for quicksand because I don't want to run into swamp quicksand. Swamp sand.
Donald wants to have a word with Gracie as we're escaping.
So Gwendolyn, roll me an investigation check
I'm
And-
so good at these. I totally didn't make intelligence and wisdom my dump stats. 5. There's no quicksand here. It's fine.
Probably none.
It's...
Probably no
I
quicksand.
checked. I'm positive.
Would Anderson have known any specific stories about anything in the forest, or is it just the forest in general? Would there be any word about the swamps?
There's so many stories about this forest. This forest is this is like the Black Forest in Germany. This is the forest that has all of the ghosts, all of the boogeymen. And there's so many stories that who's to say what's true and what's not, that the dead walk, that beasts that are half man, half something else
We've seen some
make
weird
their
stuff.
homes here. You've never seen anything weird, particularly that made you believe in the myths before, but you've seen some strange things in the past 24 hours.
All right, well, if the group then keeps charging into the swamp, the moment we slow down a bit, we're well into the swamp and catching your breath. Anderson's gonna look to the group and be like, guys, did great back there. We made it out. I'm not quite sure how, right? We made it out.
I can still see the smoke.
Yeah, and good job back there. Zank, I'm glad your pyromaniac ways came into some very good usefulness there. That was great.
When was it not useful?
Oh, a few times when you tried to burn me when we were in prison, but, that's beside the point. I say let bygones be bygones, but, look, this swamp makes me nervous. This forest makes me nervous, but let's try and stay together and get through this as quick as we can, all right? It's a swamp. It's not going to be easy going, but just keep going, all right? See if we can find some dry spots later tonight to rest.
Somewhere further behind the group of you in the front is Gracie and Donald. And Donald, you managed to get Gracie's attention to try to have a word with her.
Gracie, I just want to say thank you. I saw you came back before anyone else, and you helped us. You didn't have to do that, and I know how you abhor this sort of damage and death. So, thank you.
I did have to, but you're welcome.
Why do you say that? You were away. We were giving you guys time. You did not have to stay.
I couldn't have left.
Well, you have my thanks, nonetheless.
I'm glad you're okay.
You as well.
Gracie and Donald, each of you roll me a Constitution saving throw. Roll me another Constitution saving throw.
Twinsies both rolled 16s.
It's at this point that Gracie, you cough. And it's not like Zankar's cough. It's not that dry cough. You spit up blood onto Donald's face.
I not normally had that effect on women before. Are you all right?
I think I would, wipe my face and just, turn around and pretend that it never happened. Like when you do something embarrassing on a date and you're just like, what was it? That's how I'd handle it in real life. I don't know.
Donald, how do you react to this?
I'm just wiping it off very slowly. Let's just forget that ever happened. You're a cleric. That's not the blood plague, is it? Causing you to do that? I've not been really affected by it too much. I've seen after effects, but you did just cough blood in my face.
I think I was just very worked up over this.
Oh, all right.
If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna walk very far away.
What? You don't think it had anything to do with our shared experience with that old elf, do you?
That was just a dream.
He looks at his hand, at the pseudo scars, like, I never had a scar in my hand before that dream. I do now.
It could have happened to you in that prison at some point. I lost a lot of memories in there.
Look at it. I was only in there for 10 days. I could not have cut my hand this badly and have it healed this quickly. I cut my hand in the dream.
Maybe you had cut it and I healed it yesterday before you went to bed and you didn't notice. And I'm gonna turn and start walking away.
Just gonna stand there looking in his hand like, I'm not sure that's what happened.
And Anderson up the front's gonna look back to the group while they're ganging and yell back to them, come on, let's keep going, guys.
Catch up, please. We don't want to leave anyone behind. But don't worry, there's no quicksand. I checked.
I'll go first.
All right,
Zenka, that's a great idea.
As much as I'm dread to say it, yeah, you can go first for once.
I'll be right with you, Zenka.
I light the way.
Please don't actually be late.
Truly, you are a beacon that guides this group
Everything
in the
behind
darkness.
You all continue to move on at your own pace, some of you further ahead than others. And it's not that much longer before you find the edge of what is the forest and what becomes the bog. And not far out, if you continue to walk through the bog in the direction of Arkenbury Cathedral, it turns into a waist-deep, stinking swamp.
Ew.
Wait. Yes. There's lots of swamp gases.
TPK right there, we're done.
Swamp
There's
fires
always an upside
are
to things.
very
guys.
dangerous.
He's the most optimistic character.
Right?
This isn't quite the rustic I had in mind. I liked that cave much better. I feel like this is beyond rustic. This is more...
Look, lady, this is beyond rustic. This is soup. This is forest soup we're trudging here, all right?
I didn't know the forest made soup.
Did you ever get out of your house much?
I did like to go riding from time to time.
You ever been in a
I
bog
had
or a
a
swamp?
beautiful mare that I would ride. She was an Appaloosa. It was lovely. We would stroll through town and gaze upon the peasantry. Or through a field, you know, watch them collect the harvest. Be like, yes, that is all my food. Please
Anderson's
put it in
gonna
my
let her
silo.
keep talking and keep the group walking while she talks as like a mental distraction. Relays her stories.
And so to the sound of Gwendolyn's stories, you begin advancing into the fetid swamp. Does anyone hang back? Does anyone not enter?
I'm gonna hang back for a little while, and let them get ahead of me a little bit.
Okay.
Because I want to do a very thorough assessment of myself.
What kind of assessment? How are you approaching this assessment?
Like, I just want to stop and just not be scared for a second and just be like, how am I feeling?
I would say with your background, roll me a medicine check.
Okay.
I mean, you're not feeling sick. You have a slight tickle in the back of your throat. You walked a long way. You were experienced physical trauma. You weren't personally hurt. You don't think there's internal bleeding or anything like that. So it's possible that it was just a strange moment when you spat up blood onto him.
I'm still gonna cast Detect Poison and Disease on myself.
Absolutely. And when you do so, the answer comes to you in a memory more than a magical feeling. It's that memory of your foot, both of your feet, going through bodies, being sucked down, like something was grabbing you, something was dragging you into a pile of corpses, plagued corpses. And then you remember that those same bodies that you were amongst began to move again, began to swarm with a writhing hive mind, began to reach towards you, that they tore apart Sir Diggory, that you saw them in your dreams. And as you recall this string of memories, you cough again onto the back of your hand, a little bit of blood.
How far ahead are they?
50 feet.
Are they continuing to move?
If you don't keep moving with us, Anderson's going to turn around and call to you. Because he's watching out for the whole group.
I'm gonna stop though. And if you call back, I'll just say, I just need a minute. I'm just a little tired. I didn't sleep well last night.
Yeah, we guess we're okay enough for now. Everybody, let's take a few minutes here. All right.
You guys can.
No, don't even suggest it. There's no splitting up that's going to be happening in this swamp or in this forest at any time. It ain't going to happen. We split up, I'm pretty sure we're going to die. We stay together, well, at least maybe we can die together. Sorry,
So
all right, everybody, let's take a break here. Let's take a break. We've been pushing it pretty hard.
All
You're
right, I
resting
think I
there.
see a floating bog, like a floating log. I can like drape myself over on like a fainting couch and think of better times.
And with a few steps, you could pull yourself back up onto a slightly higher, a drier patch of land where you're only knee deep instead of waist deep.
Yes.
Where you find yourselves, amongst stone debris, you look around at this border between forest and swamp, and everyone roll me a perception check.
Oh yes. I'm excellent at those. Oh, I am excellent today.
A lot of 19s.
Yeah.
A lot of 19s. So I'll say, other than Anderson, who's been calling back and having this conversation, the rest of you kind of notice finally that at this border between bog and ancient forest, there's a lot of stone debris, and it seems to be similar. It seems to be from some sort of ancient ruin. You realize that where you are, this place is more than what it seems. It's not a random point in the wilderness. It used to be a structure. Its walls have long since crumbled, its secrets worn away with time, but you do see, as you kind of take in your surroundings, that a few hundred yards to the south, a little ways into the swamp, there's a half-sunken tower emerging from the muck and the mire. And through the tower's doorways and windows, that they've long since collapsed. It's basically a crumbling ruin. Most of the entrances to the tower seem to be gone, except for one wall, the north wall, which has kind of fallen away from itself, exposing whatever this place used to be or currently is to the outside elements and would-be explorers.
Look, that place looks completely safe.
It definitely looks drier and more sheltered than being out in the open like this.
It is up on a patch of grass, so you would be able to, it would be a point where you could camp under some sort of half-covered roof if you needed to.
Dry feet. Just think about those two words right there. Dry feet.
And Anderson's gonna look back to Gracie. Be, hey, Gracie, yep. Do you think you could make it there at least, and we take a rest there? Be a little bit more sheltered and dry.
Dry. Yes.
Yes, I'll catch up. I promise.
Oh no, no. Remember that rule I said. We ain't doing this whole.
I'll
All right,
stand where you can
fine.
see.
I'm gonna. No.
I mean, maybe she needs a moment of feminine privacy, Officer Anderson. Did you ever think about that? Look, as long as you're within eyesight, dear, I'm sure you'll be fine with it.
All right, look. I'm married, or was married.
I was too, and
Whatever
now
happened.
they're dead. So, big deal.
Look. All right, Gracie. Line of sight, please.
Of course.
Come join us. Don't be long. All right. And he's gonna start heading to it. I guess with everybody.
Did anybody else not approach the ruin besides Gracie?
Donald hangs back a bit, but is moving in that direction and keeping an eye on Gracie.
Is Gracie just standing there at the edge of the swamp?
Yeah.
Does Donald go on?
Kind of midway it, kind of, where he's close. He's between Anderson and Gracie. And just sort of find a place to kind of sit on his haunches and keep an eye out on things.
As the group of you, most of the group of you, begin to wade your way through this swamp, some 100 feet to this structure. Donald stopping halfway, Gracie hanging behind. Gracie, roll me a perception check. Creak. You hear the sounds of wood, old rickety wood turning, creaking behind you, just a little ways into the forest.
Behind me, so much further away from where they are.
Further away from them, but very close to you.
I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna book it towards that sound.
Donald, you will see, and Anderson, if you're looking over your shoulder trying to keep eyesight, with Gracie, you'll see too. Gracie turn and run off into the forest.
Donald's off. Same direction.
Takes you some time to catch up with her, to try to, because you are wading through waist-high bog. Anderson, do you continue to lead the rest of the group forward?
Yeah, working our way.
Donald, you can't catch up with Gracie, not yet, but you do fight, try to get through the swamp to get back to her. Gracie, you break through the woods. You don't have to go far. You hear creak, louder. You're running towards it, and it's making its way to you. And you turn around the large oak tree, and you see there, sitting right in the middle of the forest, an old, bald elf covered in tattoos, wearing ragged beggar's clothing, rolling a rickety wooden wheelchair that looks like it can barely hold itself together, let alone make it through the woods. And with a stop of both hands, he stops moving towards you, folds his hands over his lap, and smiles up at you.
I'll smile back.
That's where we're going to end this episode.
Whoo!
We we'll have to follow this up. I want to do more. I want to find out.
Yeah.
I want to do more. I want to do more. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
3 more hours. I'm just kidding.
I got work tomorrow. No.
I know.
I can't hang.
I can't hang.
I tap out.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I can't wait for us to schedule a part 2 to this, because, I'm so invested. I gotta know what's going on. I gotta know what's happening. Oh my goodness. Whew, lots to process. Lots to look
I hope I
forward
got
to.
the blood plague for my birthday.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you did.
I don't know if a human being has ever uttered those words. all time.
I'm just
No
so
one's ever
happy.
said that before.
Hey, you want it? You got it, dollface. Go kiss one of them corpses.
Oh my goodness. Let's go around and we'll say what our favorite parts were of tonight. And where we can find, where people can find you guys online for more awesome stuff. Let's start with our wonderful, fantastic, phenomenal Dungeon Master, Don.
I don't know. I don't know what my favorite part was. I love all these characters a whole lot. It was so much fun to get to play with you guys. I've never played with you before, and you're all awesome. I felt like this was, some games can be really serious and some games can be really funny, and this was a great mixture of both. It was so much fun to play with you guys. I don't know. Maybe my favorite part's the very end. I really liked it when Lydia said, and she smiles back. Like, to me, that's just, it's perfect. But I enjoyed it all. I really enjoy all these characters. We'll figure out a time to play again because I had a lot of fun with y'all. Thank you for having me. You can follow me at Donathan Fry on Twitter. I play in a bunch of games, a good number of them with Lindy. On Wednesday, I run my game, made Black Roses Bloom, which is a dark fantasy. It's a Dragonlance series on Grimjack 21502, Greg's channel. He's fantastic. That cast is fantastic. And then this Saturday, I'm coming back with a first episode of season 2 of Project Kronos, which is Pulp Cthulhu on Greg's channel. I have, just follow me on Twitter if you're interested. You guys are great. Thank you so much for having me. I had such a great time.
Awesome. We're just gonna do our clockwise thing again. Lydia.
Thank you so much for doing this for me for my birthday. This was everything I wanted. You made all of my wine and taco fantasies come true tonight. I think my favorite part of tonight was honestly just you using my trinket, my journal, as part of the story. I love that. I choose a trinket every time I roll up a character just because I'm not always super creative, but it gives me just a point to jump off of. And I love that it's just become like a huge part of the story now. So that's definitely my favorite. I'm so excited to play again. And if you want to, you can follow me. I'm excellent at this. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at CastleMacLydia. I play on my own channel, which is just /CastleMac. We play Waterdeep Dragon Heist on Sunday nights at 7:30. We do a live play game where we're all sitting around the table, actual people in a room, a little bit different than this setup. So that's Sundays at 7:30, and then my husband and some of his friends play a game, same channel, on Tuesdays at 7:30.
Awesome. And we'll go back down to our pyromaniac, Zenkar.
Okay. My favorite was wading through all
the corpses.
The final part, and then realizing I made it much worse by setting them on fire before we left.
Naming zombies,
Thank you for DMing for us. I really enjoyed playing with you two, and I look forward to playing more. And I'm D20 Coup de Grace on Twitch. And thank you for watching, everyone.
Awesome. We're slide right on over from D20 Coup de Grace to Deception Check.
Oh God, favorite part, hard to choose.
You can have more than one.
You know, they're spectacular. I love the dream. I love the witching hour dream sequence. That was just the right amount of absolutely total WTF. What the hell is happening right now? And I like how it kind of informed the rest of the trip out. I just love the world. The world is spectacular. It's so freaking creepy and wonderful. Yeah, it was great, Don. Thank you so much. This was really a lot of fun, and Lydia, thanks for coming, because that was great too. I'm Deception Check on Twitter and Twitch, and I play on Lindy's channel on Tuesdays. We're going to start up Mists of Ravenloft soon, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So I cannot wait. Yeah, it's great. Thanks.
Shiny Pilot.
I'm Shiny Pilot Officer Anderson. Let's see, geez, I don't typically give out my Twitch handle. I think it's Shiny Pilot 206 for Twitch. I just am a player. I don't really do any shows, so I play here, and you'll see me tomorrow as well on Laugh Love Lindy's channel, playing with these two down here on my cam. It's been great. This was a hell of a great show, and my favorite part was kind of the traumatic part of Knight Diggory dying through the fence when he got left behind. It's kind of like that Walking Dead gotcha, moment at the end that it kind of hurts, but it's like, ooh, I don't know, that there's something about it that just struck me. It was just terror and awesome at the same time. But anyways, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for coming and joining us, all of you guys, getting to play with Dawn and Lydia. I get the pleasure of playing with these two here, Mr. Donnell and Zankar, all the time, but I get to play with you guys tonight, and it was fantastic as well. It was great. So everybody did a great job. Everybody's on the A game, having fun. It's had a good time. So yeah.
Awesome. And this is my channel. You can find me here. I'm Laugh Love Lindy. You can also find me pretty much on all social media, Twitter and stuff for that. I post on there when I'm going live on things. I loved, I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite parts was right in the beginning when we're kind of figuring out our characters and we're sneaking along and the guard comes around the corner and Donald's like, go, and Sengar just turns around and is like, I've been in this prison for 50 years, torch! I loved that. As soon as that happened, I was like, this is gonna be amazing. It was just fantastic. This wine and taco brainchild of Lydia's and mine has turned out fantastic. Thank you so much for responding to our drunk texts, Dawn, and
thank you.
accepting the DM.
Absolutely.
This is amazing, and I can't wait for part 2. I'm definitely gonna announce when we all schedule finagle that together. May not be right away, but hopefully it'll be in the next month or so. In the meantime, you can check out here tomorrow. I might actually stream some Soma here in a bit because I want to finish that game, because Call of Cthulhu, the video game, comes out tomorrow and I need it in my life. So I want to finish up first scary game before I start the next scary game. But right here tomorrow, 9 to 11 Eastern, we are going to be having another one-shot, a continuation. I guess it's a two-shot because we picked up from where we left off the last time we played on Tuesday. Shenanigans are afoot in Silvery Moon. They're going to Cold Subject to go shopping. They've made friends with the Displacer Beast. Cake, the baby red dragon is around. Also check out Wednesday for sure. Hopefully we'll have Call of Cthulhu this week on Encounter Roleplay. Fingers crossed. If not, hopefully next week. Stay tuned for that. And Friday, I will announce this, Friday night, check out Grimjack21502's channel for the premiere of the Invisible Sun campaign, which I will be in, and I'm super excited about that. So yeah, just follow everybody here. They're super awesome, super amazing people. But let's send out a little raid. I think Scraticus is still playing. Let's think he's playing Mouse Guard. Yeah, let's go give Scraticus a little raid. I can type that. Scraticus. He's super awesome, playing some Mouse Guard. Eric Vulgaris is an awesome DM. He's DMing that right now. So thanks everybody so much. Can't wait to see you again soon, hopefully for part 2 of this. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.